There's a new spot open for my co-host. I'm just saying this show's doing pretty good for somebody that nobody watches. You want a piece of this?
Yes.
Not you, not Caleb, not Kevin, not Dylan. Nobody fucking called me when I got fired.
This is showbiz, bro. Your response to that really fucking hurt.
Your actions hurt me every day.
I always hated being you guys.
That's fighting words, bro. Look at me. That's fighting words, bro. I loved you and I hated you. Both of those times, I knew you were 10 other men.
I called you crying. We had a really good relationship.
You never cared. There is nothing that I regret with that relationship, but I will not bow anymore. I'm no longer his right hand.
First of all, you were only his left.
Yeah, you were the right because you them off so much.
I'm just playing, I don't fight, I do pray. I only go the way of Mr. Yahweh.
It's not often I sit down with somebody and they say something that makes me think.
Brother,
this was great.
I
love you guys.
But you give me something to think about.
my own damn way.
I had a lot of fun on this interview.
I have been waiting a really long time for this episode. But before we get into it, Arizona, I'm coming to see you August 1st, stand up live. And if you guys want me to come to your town, text me right here so that way I know which cities to hit when we go on, do the George Janko show live. Other than that, I'm sorry for my filthy language. I got a little passionate. Sorry about that. But I hope you guys enjoy this honest, open conversation between me and an old friend. Would you like to do the intro for like old time's sakes?
Where are you going to give me? Oh. Whoops. I thought Caleb was going to do it. Welcome back to George Impaulsive, the #1 podcast in the world. Thank you so much for listening, watching, and subscribing. Oh, boy, do we have an episode for you guys today.
Do we have an episode?
Oh, yeah, there's usually a clap there, too.
When you think you read?
Yeah.
When was the last time we shot an episode? I think it was the Ryan Garcia one. It was the last time I was on Impaulsive and the last time Ryan looked normal.
Yeah, wow. What a tremendous trajectory and arc for both of those storylines.
We rekindled on a plane.
Yeah.
And then we were supposed to meet. We never really met.
I know. This is it.
This is it. Which is hilarious that we're doing on a podcast. And I'm actually honored that it's on the George Janko show.
Only way that it would be.
So how have you been, bro? Like how was Impaulsive? How are you? I saw you leave like Jeff's pod. I knew that like trust me, bro. I know when you walk away from a podcast.
Do you know how many people are like, oh, he pulled the George Janko?
Yeah, no. I know. When I saw, dude, you know what's even crazier is when I saw you flip that shit and I called Kyle. I was like, yo, was that real? And he goes, yeah, no, he's mad. The first thing I thought about, I was like, you're very calm under pressure. And not a lot of people got to see you work, but me and Logan will definitely be able to voice this. You're always the one that's like cooler heads, like let's calm down, like let's de-escalate it. So watching you like flip a table and like bounce, I was like, he's at his wit end, and I know what that feels like. So I just wanted to check in like a personal way. Are you good? And so Leo wants to check. You could push him off.
Hey, Leo. Yeah, that was just a tough day for me. I mean, as you know, I lost my dog, Finney. Do you know that?
Kyle told me. I didn't know until he told me, but I didn't even know you had a dog.
Yeah, well, it's my mom's dog, but it's our family dog. And for whatever reason, like since we got that dog, it was like my soul. And like I would go home to Connecticut like under the guise of like, oh, it's so and so's birthday, but like
you just wanted to go see your dog.
I wanted to see my dog, dude. And
was
like
your dog with you during moments that you went through?
No, but I mean, we go through moments our entire life, you know, of some semblance. Like we lose friends, we lose relationships, we fall out of, you know, relationships with close friends. Like we have all kinds of stuff that goes on. And so I think dogs present this just unending an irreplaceable loyalty that just doesn't end. It's unconditional. And she had this kidney condition, and unfortunately I had to go back and go through the process, the most painful process that I've ever been through of actually making the decision to go and put her down and watch that happen, and it sucked the soul out of me. And because of a mismanagement of an earlier situation, someone had started making fun of it, and it just hit me really hard, dude. And
your guys' jokes are kind of ruthless. You know what I mean? Like the comedy, you know, like there's no line, right? It's anybody could take a certain type of joke. A different person might think it's funny. Some other person might think it's the funniest thing in the world. But nothing's worse than shooting out a joke and then watching somebody just like fall inside.
And Ryan felt horrible about it. I mean,
but also like he was upset about his father's situation.
Yeah.
And, like I understand and I get where his direction was. When I was watching it, it didn't seem like he was trying to like get you to like be that hurt. But I definitely think he was like, oh, this is my moment. I'm gonna get it back. So like,
you know, it is what it is, and that's all I can say about it. I think people watched it and said, what a laughable moment for a 39-year-old man to have. Like you don't, these people out there have this assumption. It's one of the funniest things that I see online, because I'm really unaffected by the commentary now. It's more so real life scenarios that get me. But there's this always on belief that like age in life represents certain mandatory checkpoints. Like you're going to get to this age and this is going to happen. You're going to get to this age and this is going to happen. And that is, as you obviously know, as you get older, you realize more and more that that's just not the case. There's no age where you're supposed to be this or you're supposed to be that, or, you know, there's general guidelines that you should conduct yourself in a certain manner, but we all are susceptible to weak points in our life where we fuck up and have bouts of lust or bouts of rage or bouts of anger. And that was just a moment for me that I can't take back. And, you know, nor am I super mad about it.
are you good at growth? Are you good at seeing a circumstance and learning from it? Or do you think you're a type of person that has to run into that problem a few times?
Few times, for sure.
What do you think that is? And where do you think it comes from?
I think it's probably just by personality. I think every person is different when it comes to that. Some people touch the metaphorical burner one time. They touch the stove, it burns their hand. They say, ouch, they never touch it again. And then, you know, some people need to make that mistake a few times to reinforce the consequence of that action. Okay, so like maybe the first time you touch the stove, it was just a slight burn. Maybe you just got a little blister on one finger and you're like, well, that wasn't that bad. I'm down to go for the thrill of that again. You know, and then some people are able to estimate the worst possible outcome. And so, you know, I won't sit here and say it's the last time I'm ever going to make a mistake, you know, or have a moment in my life where I'm tried to a point of breaking and actually breaking, you know, and that's when you fall back on your family, your friends, and Jesus.
Amen. Before we jump into like what we and the audience are dying to talk about.
Well, I don't even know what that is, to be honest. I just came here just because I wanted to sit and talk to you, bro.
I want to talk to you about we used to talk about before you had two phones.
Yep.
When we used to go on Impaulsive trips, we used to take like hotel rooms, and sometimes our rooms were joint, and we would sit there and we would discuss life like in a very passionate way. Mm-hmm. And you were one of my only friends that I could discuss high level thoughts with that include feelings and concepts of sacrifice and growth. You are at a level where you could comprehend what maybe people in their 50s and 60s now will comprehend through the experience of life that you went through. I want to know when Mike is going to get up and accomplish what he's set out to do, because I keep watching that Mike prolong himself in a very successful lane that he's just not taking the first footstep forward, because I'm going to call you out on it. You're in fear of failure. And I think that maybe once in life or twice in life, a big fail sets you back so many years that I think that has truly made a remark on all of your other work or personal or relationships. And I sat there and I'm listening to what you want to do in life, but then I'm also watching your actions, and me and you were on the same playing field. But I thought I was different. I thought I got it worked out, and you probably were looking at me like, oh, I got it worked out. So like we both thought we got it worked out, but when I stepped away, I had to learn a lot of things that molded me into the man that I am today. And so I'm just excited to watch you grow in that direction. And I want to know, what do you think it's going to take for you to start writing that book you were talking about, going out and helping these people get sober? The things that you have and that you're passionate about is really, 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 really cool. But I'm just watching you do what every single creator does. And I'm not just pointing my finger at you. Every single creator does this. I don't want to drop this because this is what's setting me free and my family free. And I don't want to disappoint. And then even for me, I'm like, I don't want to let go of this because what if God's going to be upset with me for letting go of this? And the truth is we gotta follow the path that we feel that God set out for us. And I think that is your journey. And I'm excited and angry at you for not taking that step.
Yeah, me too. I mean, listen, you hit the nail on the head. Comfort is a really dangerous thing in life.
Especially when you never had it.
Yeah.
Hey, hope you guys are liking the episode. Don't forget, we restocked on heartofdavid.co, so make sure you guys go or hit the link in the description and get your apparel today before it's sold out. Okay, back to the show. And a lot of people keep taking that away from you, but you didn't have comfort.
Never
there was
in my
no
entire
comfort
life.
when you're homeless and your grandmother's the only one showing you love, and you got to go get money so you could tweak out. And dude, I read your book when we were in Connecticut, and you were showing me around just the neighborhood you used to sling at, and I'm like, whoa, shit, this is real. Like it's something that I think because you're so good at masking with comedy that people took the seriousness, digested it with comedy. They don't take it seriously. Mm-hmm. But that's something that you are traumatized by.
100%. Yeah. And by the way, like, I don't know what part of the equation not dealing with that trauma and shit is, but yeah, comfort is a really dangerous thing. Like I said, it can put you in a place where you don't achieve the things in life that you were meant to set out to achieve by God, by your purpose in the world, by anything. And that comfort in my life has been bolstered by a best-selling book that has changed hundreds of thousands of lives. I mean, I meet people every single day.
We met people on the street that would bring it up.
Yeah, that are crying their eyes out. Like, yo, like this kid literally saved my, and I obviously always tell them it was the steps that you took. It was the steps that you took, but it served as a catalyst for people to understand suicide, to understand addiction, to understand mental illness. And knowing that I have made an impact in that space and also continue to make some impact in that space by way of having that conversation on pretty much every podcast I go on outside of Impaulsive, has given me a false sense of comfort, which I hate. And my YouTube viewership has remained stagnant but steady, you know?
And a lot of people would love to have the position you're in, and you know that. So you stick with it.
For sure.
But can I ask you something? This gets deeper, and I wouldn't be able to address somebody unless I knew that they've encountered God.
And by the way, I appreciate it, and I miss this because, George, one thing that you do is you hold people accountable. And even when they feel like they don't need it, and even when it's not perfect in approach, it's so important to have somebody be like, yo, I'm not okay with your comfort level. I'm not okay with your current output because you were meant for more. And it is a major. I had this conversation with Sarah today, my girlfriend. I have a major problem with self-worth still to this day, regardless of being one of the, few people that makes it out of the hell that I lived in for a third of my life. And being one of the people that survives every day with a heightened level of anxiety or OCD or depression or lack of ability to have the emotional intelligence of others. I feel like I've gotten comfortable in this place, and I need to. It's almost like with you, dude. Like, and I know we don't have to get there yet, but like. Sometimes you need to break everything. Sometimes you just need to break everything. And like, if you're holding, like, as you said, I'm a pretty like disciplined guy as it pertains to workflow. So I could exist in this way for a while, and that's scary. That's not necessarily a good thing. Like that comfort and longevity can be a gift and a curse.
Being in control of your life completely.
It's good water, by the way.
Thank you.
Is that LA Tap?
It is. It's so funny? Downstairs, I have like the good stuff. And I was like,
I didn't deserve it.
I just didn't want to walk downstairs. I was like, he'll never notice this. So I poured it. And the fact that you were like, this is good water. And you tasted it. I was like, I should have known to get him the good water. Like, he'd taste it.
What do you have?
I have the mountain spring water downstairs.
Oh, it's good stuff.
I could throw that out right now and get you
it's
some.
good. I like it.
I thought it'd be good for you.
Do you think there's fluoride in it?
No, but I heard it makes you gay.
Yeah, I heard that too. If you're a frog.
We'll probably cut around that. I appreciate you. Sorry. I appreciate you saying that because when I left, I felt like I didn't do that. So that would always haunt me. So the fact that you're like, I miss this, I felt like I was too scared of my own shadow. And I was terrified of you and Logan because I was like, I'm the third guy. I could be replaced at any moment. So I wouldn't want to push the boat too much. But but I really appreciate you saying that. But I want to take a step back, because what I was gonna say is this: like, you were an addict on possibly the worst drug.
One of them.
And it's very hard to get out of that. And you said in public and in your book that you give the glory to God.
For sure. All directed back to God in some way, but there was earthbound individuals that I give a lot of that to, and you'll see, like, even in the way that I reply to how did you get clean, I don't give myself enough credit, even, and even if it was God's hands at work, like, you have to enact and execute His plan. You have to take those reins and actually say, God's giving me an opportunity here to do X, Y, and Z, but now I'm actually going to go do it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who are touched by the hand of God, who are given signs, who never do anything with that strategy, with that. Well, I mean, you can
did
say
it. You did it, and then you
say
stopped.
that.
And I think,
Sure.
I would just like to just say this, because it's just my eyewitness with you, right? I think what happened was, I could be completely wrong. I'm just shooting my shot out here, but
That's completely valid.
From my perspective, bro, you got out of a hole that everybody keeps reminding you of, like, damn, I can't believe you got out of that. That's crazy, blah, blah, blah. Then you make a book, and you're living this crazy from rags to riches story where I was broke, I was on drugs, even my family gave up on me, and then now I am setting other families home free from drugs, from anxiety, from depression. I think what happened was that you got everything and you lost the one thing that was your motor vehicle, and it was faith. I think that when you're at the bottom, you can't lose anything. So you're going to go after it, and you're going to have faith that God's going to help you with your works get to where you need to be in life. I think you got to where you were from the grace of God and your works as well. You worked hand in hand. But what happened is now you're just working in a circle without having faith anymore.
Well, that part is not entirely true, because I didn't find faith really. And by the way, like, I am imperfect. Like, I can't believe I even have to preface this in some sort of assumption that Christians would ever not understand the idea of forgiveness and imperfection, which is one of the biggest portions of this entire religion that we practice, right? So I'm not perfect, right?
Yeah.
But when I got clean, that was the reinforcer for my faith.
Yeah.
That was the thing that said, pray twice a day, increase your moral compass, right? And by the way, I've made a shit ton of mistakes along the line there. I've done things over the past 5 years, 3 years, 1 year that I would not go back and do the same way because of my belief set and because of my morality, right? But I'm on a trajectory. I feel like since I've gotten clean, my trajectory has been upward, not stagnant or downward. It's just, there are just opportunities. I'm also not really a big rear-facing type of guy. I don't have a ton of regrets. I have anxiety. But
anxiety is about the future.
That's it.
Yeah, depression's about the past.
Correct.
I get that.
I'm very anxious.
So why are you anxious? Because it doesn't make sense to me. If I looked back at my records and I'm like, wow, I got out of that. I'm on this podcast. I'm doing good. I have an audience. I sold a book. Blah, blah, blah. It has to be the devil lying to you that you're going to fail with your next book.
100%.
So the only way you shut him up is by stepping up.
Yeah.
Stepping up.
Yeah.
You have everything you need to get it done. Everything you need.
Well, I just haven't been sure. It's also, what are you stepping up to? And this is a conversation.
But bro, you hanging out, like, okay, now you're in a good place, right? You have a good girl. You're trying to be a good man. You're trying to make good moves. Before when we had this conversation, I would stay back at that hotel room while you guys were out there having fun and being single. And I'm like, yo, we got to grow up. We got to move on. We have to get to the next chapter, or we're gonna be those old fucks at the club. And everybody's like, what are these guys doing here? Like, that's creepy. Like,
no. And I get it, but also like, you can be that person if you want. That's one place out. That's
you
one
could be
place
a
out.
loser if you want.
No, George, because you can't.
There's nothing cool about being at the club. I don't care how rich you are.
I get
how
it, but
powerful
this may be a place where you and I differ, or where I differ from Red Pill, TradCon, like that type of stuff, right?
I don't even. What is TradCon?
Traditional or conventional, people podcasting, so on and so forth. There's a ton of it these days.
Got it. This video is sponsored by BrainTika, and I'm actually very excited to tell you guys about this. BrainTika is an online academy of tech professionals with a team of mentors who are professionals who've worked in major corporations and have years of experience. The duration of training is around 2 to 6 months, depending on the profession. My favorite thing about BrainTika is it actually guarantees employment after the training. And if you're unable to find a job, it actually offers a refund. More than 3,000 BrainTika students are already successful in the IT industry in more than 700 companies. About 50 companies consistently turn to BrainTika for candidates for their vacancies. BrainTika is also perfect if you want to get into influencer marketing. After training, influencer marketing managers have the opportunity to work with and communicate with influencers, which is super fun. I'm an influencer. I'm pretty fun. What's even cooler is that BrainTika will give you an official certificate that can be used anywhere and is valid, including on LinkedIn. You guys should sign up, get familiar with the platform, and check out what the influencer marketing space is all about. You could be a student with one click. Head to braintika.com and click on buy a plan and use my code JANKO20 to get 20% off.
I am of the belief set that there is no, as I said earlier, roadmap, age group. If you are fulfilling what your life, and if you believe that life to be a life of experience, of like yes, we can dumb it down and say you're partying at the club. But if that club means meeting new people every night and you enjoy those conversations and you get something out of it, and maybe you're fulfilling something to them in those conversations, maybe you're talking to them about whatever, right? Like I think just to group something in like that and say, like, if you're in this place, after a certain age, you're a loser. I think there's relationships to be had.
That we follow patterns, right?
Yeah.
So like if you study anything that has, like, for example, when they follow medication, they read the studies and the patterns that happens to people. When you go and you see a certain type of man in a club at a certain age, he's creepy and uncomfortable for women and for men. That's one. And I'm not saying you're at that age. I'm talking about 40,
No, maybe
50.
no. I mean, I'm almost 40, so maybe I am. But at the end of the day, this conversation right now is the one that I've been trying to avoid / edit / adjust in my own dealings on the internet these days, is that is any type of judgment towards another individual. God, said it best, like, judge not your neighbors, probably, right? Something along those lines.
Absolutely.
Now, of course, if your neighbor is being not Christian-like, if your neighbor is being deceptive or lustful or whatever, right? Yes, you're supposed to, as a Christian, correct those behaviors, right?
Yeah.
But this judgment that is passed on people simply because they've expired some age group that only exists in your mind and the mind of a general social group, I don't subscribe to that. I think if people want to watch cartoons at 65 and they're not robbing from their friends or they're not cheating on their spouses, right? Yeah. Then who are we to judge and say, dude, that you can't go dance because you like the way it makes you feel to go dance at a club or whatever. Now, if they're being,
hey man, come on, let's take it a step. Let's take it a step
you're gonna
back.
say that's not what you do at clubs?
No, bro. You guys would take a drink, look for the next girl you could smash, and if this isn't gonna happen, we're gonna bounce to the next club.
And I grew out of it.
No, I get that. I get that's a cool thing, but like trying to spin it in a way where it's like, no, this is just happiness. No, I get you shouldn't judge your neighbor, but you gotta rebuke stupid behavior. If people aren't growing,
agreed.
And if they're not maturing, bro, you're an adult. You're at a certain age. Somebody has to tell you, be like, hey man, go get a fucking wife. You know what I mean? Like go get a job.
But that's
if
one
your
thing, once
job
again,
is
like
being in the club watching 20-year-olds get drunk, do drugs, get messed up, or mess up somebody else, and bro, there's nothing special that happens here.
Agreed.
And nobody's ever. I've been in the business for 10 years.
Yeah.
Never once have it been like at the club. Boom, 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 boom. Wait a second. I think you'd be the perfect fit for my next movie. Read these lines. Boom, boom, boom. No one, bro. No one does business there. They get busy.
Agreed. But on the counter, on the flip side, as a society, online, chronically online society, we have become addicted to monitoring and judging other people's lives. It is what we do. You go on Twitter, you scroll through Twitter, and it's somebody saying fat people are this, or girls at the club are this, or blah 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 are this.
Yeah.
Now, take a step back and look into the homes of those judges.
Yeah.
Look into their homes.
Yeah.
And the question I hit them back with is, when's the last time you looked in your home? Okay? They're not perfect. There is work they can be doing in their homes before they're out here saying, oh, you shouldn't be dancing at the nightclub at that age, or you shouldn't be worrying about a rap beef at that age, or X, Y, and Z. Because, bro, I deal with that all day. There's a belief that when you hit the age of 30, your life can only be wife, kids, go to work, come home, watch a program, eat supper, and go to bed by a certain time. I am here today to tell you that is not the case. That is what people will want you to believe. I will tell you today that as long as you're not hurting other people, I've always been very liberal with what you need to do in life.
What do you think a man needs to do in life?
Fulfill their purpose, their purpose, their purpose. If that purpose is, listen, let's find this common ground.
Yeah.
Is it manly, mature, or of a worldly outcome to be at a nightclub in your 40s and, well, by the way, also not accomplishing anything to further your purpose in life? That's ridiculous. Of course not.
Well, I think you misunderstood my clubbing. I'm talking about the man who's just always clubbing, because we know a ton of men that are always at the club. I'm not saying that you shouldn't go and celebrate a win with your boys. I hope you know that. I think it's totally fine. If you could be 45 or 50 years old. 50. I just opened up a cigar lounge and there's only older men in there.
So you're talking about this chronically partying.
I'm talking about not growing up.
Yeah.
The fact that, like, I was in the game for 10 years and I watched women just expire. I'm not trying to be rude, but they expired. They would be every 5 years there'd be a new set of girls that these promoters and rich man flood, and it's just a circle content of, like, these girls are now. There used to be model houses. Remember, where producers or like guys that work at the club would own a house, fill it up with 100 European women that couldn't speak English, and be like, "You guys have to go to dinners and clubs with me." Bro, that's fucking gross.
I guess like 100%. I guess
it's gross. So, like, I had to wake up and be like, "Yo, I know if I die today, what I'm doing with my friends and what I'm doing with my business and what I'm doing in my life, God's gonna be like, you're filthy, bro. Get away from me." So, like, I had to change my life.
But you weren't even doing it. You weren't doing it.
Yes, but I brought that all up to say this. Ready for this?
Yeah.
I brought that all up to say the day that I changed myself, God changed my friends. When I changed myself, my atmosphere changed around me.
But what did you change?
I changed my morals. I changed the way I work.
But what were you doing that was so...
Like, I would hang back. Like, if I didn't want to go to the clubs, or if I didn't want to...
No, but you always did that anyways. You were never... Sorry. You're talking about prior to being on Impaulsive.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Okay, yeah. Because when we were doing the show...
When I got on Impaulsive is when I started growing, and I started, like, just changing my thoughts. Now, mind you, I'm not saying that, like... there's many things I could say, right? Like, in my mind, I was like, okay, well, Mike, you know, he has a success going. He has his podcast going. He has all this stuff. Logan has the boxing. He has all this stuff. I had to really just take a look in the mirror and be like, all right, what am I adding anything to this world? Am I adding anything to this world? You gave a book already.
A book and an always-on approach towards mental illness and addiction.
So when you leave, you saved somebody's life. So I got
sure.
So what I think is, I'm not using you as an example. I'm using myself as an example. I think men stopped growing when they stopped fearing the right thing. And I started fearing of losing my success, my fame, and my credibility, and the fact that I could get girls. Those were the things I was afraid of. But then when I realized all of these are meaningless and I should be really afraid of being a piece of shit and somebody that God doesn't want anything to do with, overnight everything changed, bro.
Right.
And the reason why I'm, like, sitting here on a podcast being like, bro, like, you need to go out and do this, is because when everybody comes up to me and be like, yo, I'm very proud of you, bro. You went from Impaulsive, you did your own thing, you did it work. I did it. And by the way, I just want to say thank you. I saw you guys compliment me on Impaulsive the other day. I found that was really sweet. But that took me a year, not of me doing the same thing. It was me beating myself up every day in a healthy way and saying, no, I got to be better than the next person. And dude, like, the way I even treated you guys, there's a lot of things that I have to take responsibility for. I didn't walk away being like, I was wrong and they were all right. There was so much stuff that I had to fix with myself.
Let's put a pin in the other situation. I do want to say, you're the way you're voicing it to the world is correct. You do need to take. I'm not trying to give people some pass to be fat, blithering idiots. Okay, that's not what I'm trying to do. The difference is I look at life through a bit more of a forgiving lens than the average person, because I know what it's like and how sometimes long it takes to pull yourself out of a situation that's making you unhappy. You think these people want to be at the club? Do you think they really deep down at 45? I see these people's faces.
No.
They do,
So that's why I'm saying,
and I'm
get
not.
out.
And I'm not. I agree with you. I agree with you.
This video is sponsored by Manscaped. Hey guys, do me a favor. I want you to blink if you didn't get your dad anything for Father's Day. Yeah, I thought so. That's why I'm coming in hot with 20% off and free shipping with Manscaped. Because let's face it, your dad, he probably had a bush since the 70s. We don't want to talk about it. We just want to cut right through that. Or maybe you have a nice beard. You're trying to look like George Janko out here. And again, if you want 20% off and free shipping, use my code GEORGE. And you can just click the link in my description and it can take you there. Listen, my little fuzzy guy. There's nothing wrong with hair. Don't be aware of the hate. Be aware of the great. Manscaped.com. Code George.
And where you or Tate, and I'd love to talk about that show, and some other people differ, is I'm a little bit more lenient on timeline. I'm a little bit more lenient on and maybe I'm wrong for that. Wrong for that because
there's a study
I,
that's saying that people that had traumatic experiences, and you said it was 10 years of your life, bro, it might have just deleted that time frame for you.
Yes, the developmental gap is correct, but it's not that. It's people in recovery from substance or mental illness understand the trials and tribulations and hardships that come along with change. We have put it like this.
Yeah,
we as you said earlier, we have a little bit more the preface for this whole conversation. We have a little bit more trouble with change.
Yeah, we do.
We haven't not we. We mental illness sufferers and addicts have a little bit more trouble with change. We have to touch the burner a few more times than the average person. So it's not always going to be you on a podcast, the preacher at the church, Andrew Tate, some other traditional podcast saying you're a fucking loser if you are doing X, Y, and Z.
Yes.
Because they know that.
Yeah.
They
I
know
agree.
that.
I agree.
I'm not trying to throw you under the bus, but I'm just giving this message
to
to my people that are watching this. We sometimes need to find that other catalyst. It could be just a little bit of support from a coworker. It could be a little bit of love or praise from a father who hasn't been in their life. It can be a little bit of understanding of a friend that they lost to addiction or suicide, which is what I always wanted my book to be. There's a spark that we all needed. For me, it was my probation officer. It was the tears in my mother's eyes when I realized that she had finally fully given up hope that I was ever going to get better. We need that. It's not just the one burner touch. God bless all of you who can find that hope in life through just touching the burner one time and saying, I'm never going to do that again. But we're not like that. And so for all those people who are in the club, I'm not in their old age or still having trouble kicking an addiction or kicking a problem with anxiety and they can't go to the fucking grocery store no matter how hard they try to get their fucking groceries, bro. This message is for them. We're together in that, bro. That's something that we all share, but you'll get there. I got there. It took me 10 years to do something that so many people found easy to do in one day. Don't do drugs. For me, it took 10 years of my life. Gone. I'll never get them back to understand why I can't do that shit, bro. And it's important to understand that we're not all the same. We look at life through a different lens and we're different people. And that's something that I've been trying to explain to everyone. It's not a cop-out. It's not a cop-out. It's not being weak. It's just we're just a little bit different. We need just a little bit more time.
Do you see what you just did there?
Yeah, because you got it out of me, George.
No,
I understand.
It's called passion, bro.
Yeah, it's the only place that I have it, too. And I get it.
So what I'm saying is, did Jesus come down to earth and pick the righteous, or did he pick the broken?
He picked the broken.
Why?
Because they're relatable, because they have a story to tell.
That's it. Because they know how to speak to the ones that are broken. So you sit there and you know what you should be talking about, you know what you should be doing, and you run from it. When God has chosen you to be that man. Even the people that stopped believing in you, when I was angry at you, I still saw what God wanted you to do. Even when I was at my absolute wit end with you, I saw the glory that what God could put through you. Mm-hmm. So you need to look in the mirror and stop getting mad at people telling you, hey, you should do this, you should do that.
I'm not mad. I
think you're passionate because you're doing what I did on Impaulsive, bro. The one thing that Logan hits you with lines all the time, and sometimes they fucking hit. And one of them that he hit me with, he says, the comments that hurt you are the ones that you know are right.
Always. Always.
So this is why I used to get upset when people are like, "You're not funny." I'm like, "I know."
Do you want? That's
Like,
not true.
I
That's
know,
not true. No,
I
that's
know.
not true. That's not true. Do you want me to give you the real? This is all once again known stuff.
Yeah.
This right here, what you're saying to me, is something that needs to be executed. Yes, I know it. Manager Jeff knows it. Everyone knows it.
You know who the first person was to tell me to go and talk about God? You.
Yeah, I know.
We were in the kitchen and you were eting and you're like, dude,
this is your thing.
Dude, you're so passionate about it and you're so good at it and you could wake up so many people. Why don't you do it? And I said, oh, no, I don't know. Bro, God literally took both of us stupid human beings and put us together and said, iron will sharpen iron, but this dummy is going to help this dummy. Right? So I'm over here in the past and you're like, you should talk about God, dude. It's going to set you free and set other people free. And I'm like, no, I'm not good enough. All right? And then guess what? A couple years later, I had to wake up. And you know how God woke me up? He broke me in half. And he separated a lot of things and he broke me down and down until I had nothing else. What I'm telling you is this, and I fully warn you, don't let God break you, bro. Because he's going to put you where you need to be.
I know.
And you're prolonging it. Because I asked God, take my feet where they should be, not where I want them to be. And guess what happened, bro? Everything in my life started falling apart.
Yo, it's so funny you say that because I always tell people that there are two routes to change in life: desperation and motivation. I usually say motivation and desperation, actually. Your goal, watching this right now, should be try to get things done through motivation. because man, now desperation is the better catalyst. When your back is against the wall, that's when you get, that's when
you have nothing to lose.
But it sucks having to fucking get there. So let me say this.
Yeah.
I bought a $4+ million house. I have picked up a tremendous, not a tremendous number, but a decent number of reliance on me, and not only people, but things that rely on my continued success.
Bro, you're about to tell me what I
No.
want.
By the way,
Are you carrying it on your back?
Correct, but I'm also already
Yes.
digging out of it.
Yes.
So what I'm doing right now, and by
Yes.
the way, you saying this is great. And I'm happy that we're doing this because it's just reinforcing, right?
And it's coming from love. I hope you know that.
Of course. As we speak, I'm already pulling my chips back. So house is for sale. Somebody please buy it. You can buy it if you want. If you're watching this and you want a house in the hills, I don't know. Selling the house, pulling a lot of stuff back close to the chest so that I can start to take risks. At least they're not even risks. It's all, we're going to succeed. We're going to help people. This is I know that. The stuff you're saying is, but as I said earlier, there's a difference between knowing and doing. The biggest difference.
But you're, instead of God putting you in a place where you lose your home, you're already like, okay, I'm gonna put this down.
Correct.
Because
I'm moving towards where you want me to be.
So
that's what I'm saying.
Why I get mad at when people have credit cards or they put themselves on debt is because you're walking into slavery.
For sure.
Because because this is what happened. When you tied yourself up, you tied yourself from helping other people. Because instead of looking at the income that you had when you became a millionaire and being like, oh, let me go write another book. I'll just live in this house right now.
Which, by the way, as you know, I have no problem doing. You've been to the places.
I get it. But what happened was we got caught up in our culture and being like, well, I have to shoot videos and I have to invite people and I got to shoot this pod. So we always could talk ourselves into doing the stupid shit. We could always there's always a reason why we buy a $4-point-something million house with the greatest sunset in the world. Listen, you enjoyed it. You sat there and you realized, I got used to this.
It does nothing for me.
It does nothing. But
it
does help? When you're walking at a Starbucks and me and Reed are vlogging and some girl comes up to me with her mom, she can't even speak in the mother is in tears saying, Mike saved my daughter from drugs. Wake up. Not in your $1 million house, but wake up where God wants you to be. There's so many other people that you could have saved already. Get up.
Yeah.
Get going.
I'm
Have
not
faith,
even,
bro.
Yeah. No, I know.
You're not nothing. Listen, the devil cannot take what God gave you. Once you fully believe this, you could walk on water when there's a storm. When the storm hits and you used to drown underneath it, then you could stand on the storm. I'm not saying there's not going to be another storm. But Mike, I know you, bro. I loved you and I hated you. And both of those times, I knew you were 10 other men. 10 other men in one man. There's no excuses. Get up, know your God, get to work.
Yeah,
Stop being in fear,
No, I
bro.
love that. And by the way, I'm moving there. I like actively.
But
It's
do it with your
happening.
mouth. Do
What
it
do
with
you-
your mouth
what do
because
you mean?
but me and you had the worst habits. We're the best talkers. Me and you could walk
No,
in
no,
a
no.
room.
I'm not even talking about it. That's the thing. I'm just doing it. Like the stuff's it's currently. I promise you, it's happening.
No, I know,
I
but I'm
promise you.
no.
If you want to give me a timeline, I could adhere to it.
I just want to hear more about it.
Yeah.
Because what we would do is we would never talk about the things we wanted to get done. We would talk about the bullshit, unnecessary stuff to get the views and the monetization.
Yeah.
But we would hold our mouth from
This
the good
is
things.
the thing you're talking about right now is my grow up.
Yes.
The club thing was not, and I know you weren't even directing that at me because I don't go to the club.
I was.
Sometimes I do.
I was kidding. Just
Sometimes,
imagine.
sometimes
No,
I
no,
do.
Mike. No, I'm just kidding. No.
Sometimes I do. I might go this weekend at F1. But I hear you, and I promise you I will get it done in an exponential format compared to what I'm currently doing.
Awesome.
I just have to make a few adjustments, and I mean, bro, like let's look at some of the stuff, dude. You made a pivot into a God-based podcast. It was scary for you. I knew it was the route for you, which is why I told you that. I knew it was the route for you, but it was scary for you. But you did it, right?
Yeah.
Kind of out of desperation.
Only out of
Okay.
Needed money.
Right.
It's like, are you talking about the God thing? No, the podcast is desperation.
podcast, not the God. No.
The God thing was accidental because, again, like as much as like people want to think that I'm angry at Logan, he gave me a lot to live by. And he told me, he goes, when you have a podcast, be authentic, talk real, and then you'll watch yourself grow.
Yeah.
So when I just started talking passionately about what I hold behind closed doors, I just became more authentic. Me and you talked about Jesus every day behind closed doors. I just never talked about it online because I thought it was cringe and weird, and I didn't want people to get pushed away. But that was my fear that the devil kept whispering in my ear. So that's why I sit here and I'm telling you, bro, tell the devil to go kick rocks barefoot. Like, don't let him get in your ear, bro.
Right. Well, the point you made earlier too about the passion is like
it just turned on you. And you just started flowing out.
And that will never happen if I'm talking about anything else.
And other people will never be able to. Just that one moment, I guarantee you, is going to be clipped, and somebody's going to be like touched by it, bro. That's a fire that comes out of you. That's a spirit. I used to tell people, for example, the Andrew Tate episode. When I'm sitting there, I'm watching myself talk. I on camera, I go, bro, I don't even remember saying that.
Yeah.
Because I felt like God was speaking through me.
Yeah,
Now, mind you, it wasn't
that.
like he was talking to me and then I was being weird. No, but I walked in faith, knowing that God was going to hold me. So when this man that's super intelligent talking to me, I would be able to understand him. But then when I do it with Jordan Peterson, I let my fear dictate, and then I fell apart.
Yeah.
So it's the same person, but one met with fear and one met faith. When you're in fear, bro, this is me. I'm going to use myself as an example. When I'm in fear, I act like a piece of shit. That's why I said mean things to you.
I think a lot of people do.
And that's why I said mean things to Logan. That's why I walked away. But if I would have, just the same man, if I had the confidence that I had now on Impaulsive, I would have sat both of you guys down and be like, yo, we need to discuss these feelings.
Right.
But I didn't have the balls, bro. And the reason why I didn't is because I was just terrified of my own shadow, let alone you guys. You guys were the two guys that sat on my career. You think I'm gonna argue back with them?
I always hated being you guys, by the way. I told you that.
What do you mean?
I'm not you guys. There's a dramatic difference in the relationships between both of those relationships. I don't know why you always...
Because you guys both pissed me off in different ways.
Yeah, I've been still trying to figure out how, but
I could list the reasons, but I feel like that wouldn't help.
it might be cathartic, but I mean, I don't know how you want to. I don't know which parts of everything we're even talking about.
I
today.
think that.
And
when it comes to our
we're-
relationship, it's going to be with any relationship. If I can't take responsibility and fix myself before even looking at your problems, then I'm just not a good human, because half of my issues with you probably stemmed from my behavior. The way I communicate, the way that I talk, the way I act, the way that I respond to my neighbors, they're going to respond to me in a certain way. When I asked God to help me out with a lot of my relationships, the first thing he told me to do is fix myself.
Yeah.
That way I could have a conversation with Mike and not act like an idiot or get emotional.
Right.
Because I'm not scared anymore.
I also just really didn't get it. I really didn't get it, dude. Like, I honestly did not understand why you and I were not talking. I
got angry because I would forgive you a lot with these. You want me to be honest? I'll say it in a way where you don't have to bring up real material. I think that you're a street dude that came from selling drugs, and your one street mentality, like my cousins that do sling, is I have to protect myself first, and then I'll protect others.
But that's not. And this is where we probably have to get into the material. Like, that was
Bobby
not
Lee situation.
No, hold on. We can talk about those Okay, I'll listen instead. Yeah.
Okay, the Bobby Lee situation.
Who was the first person that jumped off the couch and said, George just left, that was not good, we have to fix the situation?
But did they not cut shit that you should have stood up for me and said, hey, you can't cut that shit? That's gonna make him look like an idiot for leaving.
Okay, let's slow down, and I'll answer that. We have always cut. This is all healthy, by the way. We have always cut.
Start crying.
No. Which by the way would be healthy. We have numerous times on the show, which I'm sure a number of shows do, cut things that we believe will protect the integrity or reputation of the guest.
That protected nobody but him.
No, of the guest. That's what I'm trying.
Well, what about the guy that you break bread with, bro?
But we removed a number of things that you said on the podcast.
Name one.
Well, no, I'm not going.
Booty, bro.
No.
Once.
Do you want me to? There was something that you said on the laser beam episode.
What laser beam episode?
Do you remember laser beam in Australia when we did that episode? I'd rather not say. I can tell. Why don't I just tell you?
Just tell me. I'll beep it.
You said something about like laughing at a girl getting hit in like a parking lot. You saw like a fight.
Yeah, I just said the joke wrong.
No, I understand that, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, I didn't sexually harass somebody, man.
I'm not. Listen, I'm not trying to die a 1-to-1. I'm just saying we.
But you, okay, Mike. If this was an episode that was you, and what happened to you, and then the whole world thinks that I walked away because I can't take a joke, that's fucked. That's fucked.
It parlayed into more stuff happening down the line. Like it just became, at that point, you saw me, I went on Bobby's show.
Yeah.
Right?
And they cut around it. You said that
I have no control over that.
I try to make peace with this guy.
I know.
You've seen me.
Yeah.
I've tried to make peace with him behind closed doors. I try to reach out. I try to be cool. But by the way, and I'll just say this, we'll just empty it out. I never had a problem with Bobby Lee.
No, he knows that.
I had a problem with the way that Logan and you were kind of gassing him to keep doing. He started the episode putting his balls in my face. I let that one go. Then every 2 seconds, he kept grabbing my dick.
I don't think...
How would you feel if a man that has his back completely towards you, that only turns around to grab your dick,
right,
talk shit to your face, and you can't smack or beat the living brakes off of this guy? Because Logan makes me apologize to this man, or I don't have a job on Impaulsive anymore. How fucking crazy is that?
I don't think I understood. I can only speak for myself.
Bro, it's on a group chat.
I hope you can understand
it's on a group
that.
Chat.
No. I'm talking about during the episode because there was, I didn't know that you were feeling.
But after the episode, do you remember when you called me and I said, Mike, this is all that happens, and you said verbatim, you said, it's our fault for not telling you this, but me and Logan are really the ones who should be talking to the guest. You are really there for a boys only episode. So while I get sexually harassed, my other co-host is trying to fire me, and you're trying to leverage me to be quiet during other guests. And then on my birthday, you guys shot 3 episodes, so I couldn't show up.
I just think
on my 30th birthday, you shot 3 episodes. Bro.
I think
that's crazy. It was on the calendar for months.
I think by the time we got there was so much like confusion and disarray in the podcast that there was no coming back. We got to,
but it wasn't my fault.
No. First of all, I didn't say it was your fault. I didn't say it was your fault.
I think if you would have walked in my shoes, I think you would have felt a little different. And let's put it this way, right? And this is just us just talking about. I'm not trying to be upset. I'm trying to work with you and like grow. But if I got a deal, because I started my podcast because I saw you guys.
Don't go there because you're gonna move on to a different topic. I want to button this one up.
No, it's the same thing.
No, I know, but just hold on.
Oh, okay.
Whenever, and I obviously have every text message from this, phone, whatever, right? Whenever you called me with a problem with a hotel room, a problem with a flight, a problem with a coworker, a problem with Logan, a problem with anyone.
Yeah.
I always answered the phone.
Yeah.
I always talked to you. I always worked through it. I always called whoever the fuck was causing the problem and said, George has a problem with X, Y, and Z.
I never said you did it.
I was there with you when we negotiated the deal for you to be a part of the podcast. I applauded it. I always had your interest in mind. So regardless of all of these outcomes, the reason I was hurt was because I was always the one that was there. I was always the one standing up for you.
The last straw for me was, Mike, I had to escape. I had to leave for my own fear. When Logan came after me for my religion, the show hit rock bottom and we weren't getting paid. I was getting paid $5,000 a month, and that's covering just Reed. I have a mortgage. I have my sister that works for me. I have Belle. I'm trying to get married. I had all these things. So I had to start my own show because we're not making money on this show and I'm getting pushed out of this show.
Well, at the time, we weren't making money. You made money on the show.
But at the time, we're a couple months.
How much money did you make over the course
I can show you my books. I was spending 10 G's a month being on the show.
Right.
Name me a job that you're a part of that you spend $10,000 to do. Okay, so that's one. Two, and by the way, let's not forget that for a year and a half, I didn't get paid.
No, and I didn't get paid for years.
Okay.
Until I got paid.
Okay,
right.
so
But you did make a sizable amount of money on the show.
And by the way, always grateful. I was always grateful.
Something like
that. I don't like to talk about money, but I was always grateful. Always grateful. I think anybody could see that. But when I got pushed out, and I'm seeing that I'm getting pushed out, and I start my own show, do you know what my final straw was?
What?
I got my show going, and then not only was I controlled and pushed around on Impaulsive, but then Logan's making calls and directing my show. And I'm saying, hey, man, you can't tell me what to do on my own show. That's not okay.
What's that about?
He told me that I couldn't take Celsius. And then I said, hey,
he
man.
didn't tell you that you couldn't take Celsius.
Messages.
No, he didn't tell you that you couldn't take Celsius. He
says if I take Celsius, I'm not a part of Impaulsive.
Then he told you that if you take Celsius, that you cannot continue to be on Impaulsive, which is the core driver for Prime, as you're going to continue to funnel viewership from the Impaulsive show back to your show, which promotes a competitive product. Yeah. He also told you that if you wait 6 months after the deal's done, you're more than welcome to rejoin the show if you need to make money.
But they're always trying to find a way to push me out.
I don't.
You know what he told me?
I think that was
this is
fair.
a guy who's scared. This is a guy who's sending us screenshots of $11 million a week that he's making. Okay, and on top of that, we never got any money from Prime, and we own that show. So technically, we should have gotten a percentage of that. I never asked for it like the way you did. I stayed the fuck out of it. I didn't care. Because I'm grateful for what I'm making. I'm going to go start my own business. But when I come over here, because I'm scared I'm going to lose my job here, and then you're saying no, I sent them out.
Not you're saying no. That's why. That once again, please, bro.
But let me just finish,
because that's one thing.
Wait,
like,
are you saying you?
Yes.
No, I'm not saying you.
Because it's one thing. It's one thing. Like with all of this, bro. With all of this, that you have to understand. He wasn't the only one that took hits for how the relationship ended with you. I got the same brunt, bro. I got the same brunt.
Okay,
I got question, and I only ever spoke highly.
Can I speak for a second, please?
Well, yeah, I mean.
So when I get that call and I tell him, I go, Logan, I get it, bro. And I fully told him, I go, listen, man, like, I will take half the deal that Celsius gives me. Half. If you want to put it on the table for my show, a quarter, work with me. He says, I won't pay you a dime. You're here because of me. And then I said, well, what do you want me to do for my bills, bro? I got no money. And he says, go have your rich dad pay for it.
Listen,
that's fighting words, bro. Look at me.
No,
that's
but
words, bro. You don't bring up somebody's father.
Would you say
bro.
that the way that you handled it from a word standpoint was mature, acceptable?
What did I say? That I beat the fucking brakes off of him?
Correct.
If he was in front of me, I would have swung at him.
But that's what I'm trying to say. We were at a point where no one was speaking properly to each other. And the only person, probably that was the calmest out of the three, I sent you a very nice text message. Please.
You went to Celsius to try to get my deal. Called me right after you called them. You never called to check in on me.
Do you know?
You never called to see.
I texted you.
No, you didn't. It was after you went after the deal.
And by the way, I wasn't going after the deal.
You did.
I was going after the contract to bring to Logan and say, beat this with Prime, please. I was never going to take the Celsius deal.
But listen, you can't. Okay, so I have one friend telling me to go have my rich.
We're just having a conversation. The one thing I am a little bit upset about was the text that you sent back to me. That's it.
I told you you're a piece of shit. Everyone knows it.
Yes.
You need to. But dude, I meant every word of it.
That's crazy.
No, I'm not.
That's crazy. That's insane. If you fell out and you started doing scummy moves to your friend, I called you out on it, But I didn't do anything.
Bro, not you, not Caleb, not Kevin, not Dylan. Nobody fucking called me when I got fired. Not one person called me. You know what I get a call from? Logan saying, at least Mike wouldn't do this. And an hour later, calls me and they say, hey, he's trying to get this deal.
But you know why I was trying to get the deal.
I get it. It's money. But why
No,
I
was not taking the deal.
Why wouldn't you call me and talk to me before you try to go dig pockets?
You didn't want to talk to me. You did not want to talk to me. I was talking to Division.
We never talked.
I was talking to Division. I reached out to you. I definitely called you.
You never did.
I texted you. I have text messages that were not responded to. I definitely have text
After
messages.
I called you out.
I'm just saying I tried reaching out to you. And when I did finally reach out to you, regardless of if the timing was right for you, I said something very nice to you. I said, I know things are gonna work out for you. This business and friendship thing is very hard to navigate. You're an incredible fucking human being. I love you and I wish nothing but the best for you. And your response to that really fucking hurt me. I'm here to say that today on the show. It
Mike,
hurt me.
your actions hurt me every day.
But what actions?
The fact that you would stand up for me on camera and then as soon as it cuts, being like, I'm gonna look so good that I stood up for you. There was intentions behind it, bro. You never cared.
Oh, so you're now saying that
I'm not the only one who thought that.
You're saying now that a joke that I made, which we would always tie comedy in with real life, a joke that I made after standing up for you a million times on a million fucking episodes, now completely discounts all of the times I did it.
Do you think what I went through was fair?
I think it's complex. I think
That's
bro,
crazy, Mike. I wouldn't put my own enemies what I went through, bro.
I think I'm gonna be honest with you, I think more than anything, it was a culture fit problem. I think there was a culture fit problem.
I think I brought a different type of
I
look
agree.
to the podcast.
I agree,
And
but
if you go look at the greatest hits on Impulsive, they were all flooded with my comments. And don't think I didn't see you guys take my name out. And you guys shadow banned my name. Fans would screenshot shots of them trying to talk about me, and you guys were banned my name.
because we probably didn't want that conversation over fucking hauling the entirety of the show.
But also, it's like, bro, I walked away without saying a thing, and you guys were on the podcast saying this gets no views.
I said that?
When you guys talk together and you're clipped together, you guys, he's not talking to the wall, Mike. He's talking to you.
But
and you were like, and I know
I
you were
I think the biggest takeaway from this entire exercise today or conversation. What?
No, I just think it's just funny.
Well, I
that
also
you were
just spilled water all over myself. The tap water, which is very good, by the way. Is that I don't. First and foremost, I should not be the one sitting here answering for someone else.
I'm talking about you.
No. My goal today is to not be grouped in.
You're tired of being grouped in.
Yeah,
and
no.
I'm sorry for that. I didn't mean to do that.
On everything, because some of the things that you're talking about, if you give me specific examples of something that I personally did that you found trouble with,
I need 3.
but they're not accurate though. Not reaching out
saying
to.
I'm lying?
No, I think there's probably
What about
just
the Bobby Lee thing, bro?
What did you want me to do about the Bobby Lee?
I don't know. Maybe not tell me to shut up after I get sexually harassed.
I didn't tell you to shut up. I never said that.
I looked at Logan. I go, Logan, this is gonna make me look really bad.
No.
And he says, I don't give a fuck what you look like, bro. Come on, dog. You were standing right next to me when he said that, dog. Nobody felt safe in that. You don't even feel safe in that.
Okay.
So like, how are you trying to make it seem like what I'm saying is nonsense?
It's not nonsense, but I just wonder.
Am I making it up more in my head?
Some of it has a life of its own. I don't believe that everything is as black and white as you see it.
Maybe it's just my point of view.
And same with me.
Again,
100%.
that's why I said if I wish I would have fixed my behavior, then it would have been better. But like,
dude, to think
I can
that,
only accept so much. Bro.
To think, hold on. Let's step back and talk about a couple things. To say that the execution of your treatment on the show, outside of the show, whatever, was perfect would be the biggest overstatement of all time. There was a million things, George, that could have been done differently. The conversation about Jesus was horrible, managed terribly. I'm with you on that. Okay, and by the way, so is Logan. He would admit that if he could have that conversation again, it would go completely different. You know that, bro. He didn't go into that with some sort of intent to harm. He clearly got carried away, was not seeing your side of the discussion, and it turned into a clusterfuck.
I just don't. Not like I don't believe it, bro. It's just patterns. So you got to see the patterns. We'll use you as an example, bro. Like I saw you go through hell over and over and over again, and guess what? It keeps happening. And it's the same thing that they put you through. I'm not going to mention what they put you through, but I watched and I would pull you aside and be like, bro, that's fucked. Like you shouldn't be talked to like that or acted like that. So for you to sit there and be like, oh, I know what you're going through and then try to make it seem like what I'm saying is a little bit more fabricated, I think that's going to come back at you when the day that you finally snap and you're like, all right, I'm done with this shit. And then you're going to see it for what it is. Because
I already see, that's the thing. I already see it for what it is. So I don't have the same type of reaction to things happening. I don't I don't sit there and think to myself like I'm sitting in some perfect world scenario. This is showbiz, bro.
Yeah.
It's a fucked up,
Yeah, you're right. I'm too
terrible
emotional. I'm
place.
very emotional. I
No,
will
no. And
admit
by
that.
the way, God bless you for it. God bless you for that emotionality and having that emotional intelligence that was called into question. God bless you for it, bro. You have to shed some of that, certainly, to be in that space. Yes, shit gets said to me. Yeah, I feel left out of shit. Certainly I fucking do, and it pisses me off, and it makes me frustrated and saddened. Of course it does.
I just think the position you're in, and I have to say this confidently, and I hope I'm not just being a kid that's ranting. I'm literally just trying to meet the man that I used to be, which I think is you, and tell you, hey man, where you're at, there's no room for you to grow. They won't let you grow. They will not let you grow.
It's there but that's fine. That's fine though. Like
I want you to grow.
No. I'm not okay. Can you not be there and here and somewhere else at the same time? Like, is there any reason why we can't do that show? I can't do my show. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, no,
like, bro, there was a place for you to continue. Now, listen. Do I understand your desire to depart after all the shit that went on? Absolutely, bro.
Thank you. That's all I ask. I just don't want you guys to look at me like, why is this guy so upset?
No,
I had plenty of reasons to be upset.
I get it, but I think some of them were mismanagement of situations. Some of them were hot-headed. There was a lot of mistakes. This is the thing that I've said on every podcast I've gone on. There was a lot of mistakes made on everybody's parts. We're not perfect. We're just not perfect. The problem that I had was just for myself was just being attacked in situations where I only was showing love. Every show I went on, I promoted. I said, George has a new show. George has a new show. Every time you ever called me to do a podcast, to do a vlog, to do anything, I said, come over right now. I'm here for you. I'll drop everything else I'm doing. If you text me, if you called me crying, if I called you crying, we had a really good relationship.
That's why
when I texted
I thought you were the only one in my group
I'm telling you, there was a misassumption about evil on my part, bro, because I called Celsius to get a competitive deal to try to shop it to Prime. That's all I did. And I got nothing. By the way, I don't have Celsius or Prime. You know what I'm saying? So like clearly I'm the fucking loser here. You know what I'm saying? But listen, it worked out. We're sitting here and now it's like, how do we continue? How do we make amends for, what happened and drive the larger conversation, which is between you and Logan? You know what I'm saying? Like
I already told him behind closed doors, we'll handle that. Like that's between me and him. And like when the time's right and it's ready, we'll have that conversation. The reason I wanted to have it with you, and you know what, bro, you're right. I first, before I even like go vent anymore, like I got to take responsibilities, bro. I was not as mature as I am right now. I was leading off of fear and my emotions, which, remember, these are my friends, which I find to be like family, and it's tied in with my finance, bro. This is all of my life.
Nasty work.
This is all of my life,
yeah.
and I'm feeling like I'm being pushed out of it. So, like, I acted out of fear, but I guess what I have to say is I'm sorry for grouping you in, and I'm sorry that I wasn't man enough to just sit you down and express how I'm expressing now. But now I have confidence. Now I could stand on my own show. I have my own finance. I have my own fiance. I have my own life.
Right.
That's why when I sit here and have these conversations with you, this is the best version of me because I went through the fire. I want to sit with you and say, bro, like, you think that you're done growing. You're not. You have so much more to give, because those moments that we would have in the hotel rooms by ourselves, those were us. You saw the version of me that everybody sees now behind closed doors. I saw that version of you.
Yeah,
and I'm excited to show that version to other people. So I could get behind saying, yeah, that's my friend Mike. I'm really excited that we're friends. And I'm really, really sorry for that text message that I sent you.
But you just said that you still believe it.
I believed you did evil work on me, bro. And
what do you think I was doing? I had a pin doll at the house with your big ass fuzzy head on, and I was popping pins in your stomach.
So this was the learning lesson that I learned.
What did I do?
I thought that if somebody does something wrong to me, that it was intentional. Because
But I still haven't even found out or understood the non-intentional things. We don't have to keep harping on it, but I really, dude, was always Team George. I always was.
I think my point of view was you're only Team George when it mattered for you. That's what I thought.
No, sorry. You're not completely, what it really was there may have been times where I could have been more Team George when the outcome affected me. Not when it was only good for me, but when being Team George wholeheartedly and arguing it for it against the wind would have not been bad for me.
That's all I asked. That's all I asked.
But listen.
Because to me, from my perspective, bro, you got to see it from my perspective. I didn't think it was real.
I do.
But I thought it was for the internet. I thought it was staged. I didn't know it was
that's
real,
another
bro.
part you have to consider. All of this shit. You talked about the dark jokes before and Jeff and doing the show. The lines are fucking blurry, bro.
Yeah, and mine was mixed with reality, dog.
Unless you pull me to the side or pull somebody to the side and grab their fucking arm sometimes and be like, yo, X, Y, and Z like this. I'm not fucking around right now. It's really hard to know when we're joking, when we're serious, when this is real. It's not just an illusion for the audience. It sometimes becomes an illusion for us. I don't even know. Dude, Jeff says things to me sometimes. I'm like, does this kid really even like me?
No, I question that too. I hang out with you guys. I'm like, do these guys like each other? Like, dude, to me, that's weird. I like, there's jokes, but then you guys hit fucking shit where like if anybody else would say something, it would be on site. You don't bring up somebody's father and you don't talk about dark things like that. And Logan once, he was in an argument, he's like, oh, you always bring up Japan. No, motherfucker, you bring up Japan. I don't ever bring up Japan.
We bring up Japan a lot.
He brings it up. I sling the nice jokes.
Make jokes. Yeah. I just don't, I think.
Wait, can I just say
the
one
only
thing,
way
though?
out, I think the only way out of this amicably, and by the way, the most truthful and real way is that everybody is taking a little chunk of fault for how things went down.
I 100% take responsibility.
And same.
I think
I'm just trying to figure out
I think you guys
what
would have
those-
behaved differently
If you
towards
fucking
me.
you guys me one more fucking time.
Sorry. I think Mike and Logan, you guys would have you guys would have treated me differently if I treated myself with more respect. I think that I used a lot of fear. But also, let me just bring it back to the Bobby Lee thing because I didn't want to settle this right now. I've been so quiet about this shit, bro. Bobby, if you're which you are watching, I know you're watching. I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you because I know who you are, bro. I know you're using comedy to get out of an uncomfortable situation. I know you're just messing around me. I know even you, when you were grabbing my dick, you weren't doing it because you're like, oh, I want to sexually harass this kid. I know you were doing it because you're a comedian, you're being fun. What hurt me is that I didn't do anything, and I got all the smoke for it, bro. Like all of it. And then he called me fucking Ringo and make jokes on that shit. And then on the podcast, Logan made me apologize to him, bro. If this was anybody else and this was the old version of me, dog, this would have been held a lot more different. A lot more different.
That was it, dude. It was. You're right. I mean, it was in a lot of ways. It was a clusterfuck. I think. And by the way, the whole time,
both of them.
The whole time,
right now, my story.
The whole time, I said, dude, like, I said to Bobby when you left, especially, you're going too hard on him. It became. Here was the difference. I think with Bobby and with any comedian, your reaction to those jokes from the beginning are what gave him the fire to keep doing it.
And I wanted him to do it. I thought it was
because
fun,
you
bro.
weren't. Well, you didn't seem like you were having fun. You seemed affected.
No, when it's
and when you
when
show
I, okay,
with
when
those,
I got
with
affected,
those motherfuckers, Bobby Burr, all of them, bro.
What, no.
As soon as you start taking something serious, they're gonna fucking dig. They're gonna get. They
My
get their teeth in you. They're
was
gonna rip your
not
flesh off.
It was not with Bobby. It was with. I'm not grouping you guys. But you guys, you know why? Because, bro, like,
what did you want me to do?
Bro, I always got the
swing on Logan. You were the one that said you wanted to.
No.
How come you did it?
No. Hold on. First of all, shame on me for
and weeks before that, you probably told me that you wanted to hit me.
Smack
you had
you.
a whole episode. George Zanka wants to assault our co-host.
I apologize for that.
Everybody always wanted to hit me.
I apologize, and I never swung. I think that somebody should fucking consider that. I never swung.
Why was I always getting abused, bro?
Shut up.
The audience. The audience will never believe it. So it doesn't matter what I say because they'll never believe it.
Good.
I know you're right.
So,
but
the reason I was upset,
dude.
I just want to make this very, very clear. The real version of why I was upset is because, bro, this is like the freaking Shaq episode. I can't hear the guy. It's here. And then I get clowned on it and they use it to, bro, I told Dylan 100 fucking times. I said, bro, I can't hear this guy. I can't hear this guy.
But
and
George,
we're in a live audience.
there's always a butt of the joke. As soon as you left the show, who do you think became the butt of the fucking joke again, George?
You.
Yeah, the drug addict, 40-year-old, hairless loser. Okay?
Not hairless anymore.
So, correct. Well, I got a little more. Thanks, Turkey. Smile Hair Clinic, use my code Mike. Dude, like, you just became the butt for that time, and unfortunately it just got carried away, got serious, and then had a business a situation that became a business focus as well.
Bro, I was just like, dude, like, here's the thing, bro.
And I'm
go
sitting there
watch
and I'm like,
the
the fuck do you
KSI
want me to
episode.
do?
Go to watch the 6ix9ine episode. Go, in fact, just go to Impaulsive, click the most popular ones. Go look at their most popular episodes. Go read the comments. I was doing well when the people around me wanted me to do well.
Facilitated it.
And that's why,
How
no
many times-
shocker, when I
how
had my
many-
own podcast, guess what? It was doing good. Why? Because I'm with people that want to see me succeed.
How many times on episodes did I turn and either say, "What do you think about this?" out of nowhere?
Every time.
What do you think?
Every
What do
time.
you think? There's an aspect of religion to this. George, how do you think God plays in this? I always wanted to fucking lift you and give you that ability to do that.
Okay. Okay. So if I'm not going to group you in, and I know that you did, there was times where you would lean out.
'Cause I'd be like,
from my
George is
perspective, it
tapped
looked
out.
like you were
This-
only doing it for the camera, but okay.
No, what the fuck? How could you? That hurts me.
Reed,
That
Reed,
hurts
Reed,
me
Reed,
to call
Reed.
my
Is that-
intent into question.
Reed, was that
bro.
something that we discussed between us? What doesn't it look like when Mike would be like, when he would hop off camera and he'd be like, I'm gonna look so good at a defender George.
No,
Like,
it's about-
did it not look
Yes,
to us
I get that.
it was kind of like, all right, well, they just don't give a shit about me at all. Mike gives only a shit when they go too hard and the audience is gonna side with me. That's my perspective. You could get mad at me for
No,
my
I'm
perspective.
not mad about it, but I'm just saying, as you can say anything you want about Impaulsive as a show. Logan is the draw to the show. I have always tried to be the cohesiveness manager to the show. Where's the guest? Are they comfortable? Is the storyline going this way, that way? I've always wanted to have some semblance of hand on that steering wheel, okay? When I see my co-host in the 3 slot over in the side having not said anything for 15 minutes, it's a cohesiveness of show situation for me to be like, yo, George, what do you think about that? I'm not trying to have fucking people give me hand jobs in the audience because I was nice to poor Georgie. That's insane.
But, okay,
That's insane. There was, bro, if it was just being nice to poor Georgie, I cashed that check. In the 56,000 vlogs that I did with you, you would come to my house and say, someone's in the box, play this game with me. You would be like,
But
give
I
me
did that
all
for
your...
you. I started your vlogging career.
You were one of the first people that was ever in my vlogs.
So I'm just cashing back the checks that I put in.
And I
to
always,
me, it's an
and
investment.
I always cleared. I always paid.
No, you did. You did. I'm not saying you weren't good.
Man,
I'm
that
just saying,
sucks. That sucks. Not just with you, but I have a problem online where I am looked at and my intent is always questioned. I hate that. And it's not
Let's
just
talk
you.
about it.
No,
it might
it's
be a
not just you.
perspective thing, bro. Listen, I'm here to talk. And also, bro, like, again, I will say this, even though I just got a little passionate, I was discussing things. I never got to discuss it. But, like, me discussing it, I just want to let you know, bro, I still think you're an amazing guy. I think it was my fault that I didn't communicate it with you. And I think that me being dumb made all my people around me dumb, and then we handled it in a dumb way. I really do. I'm not mad at Logan. I'm not mad at Bobby. I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at myself. I should have handled it better.
Like I said, the only out is people taking a share, saying, okay, this part was me, this part was me, this part was me, and moving on from that. And you look at the outcome of it, and like I said, Logan Paul, massive star, built multi-billion-dollar brand, biggest face of WWE. George Janko, huge podcast, interviewing some of the biggest minds on the planet. Mike Majlak, being evicted, trying to figure out how to fucking make ends meet. Just the co-host that gets made fun of every day. Who do you think's the real fucking loser here, George?
That's
You
why
think
I
it
wanted
was
to have you here. If you notice,
think it was you?
Belle isn't here.
I wish she was.
And there's a new spot open for my co-host. I'm not just saying you should leave your job and come here. I'm just saying this show's doing pretty good for somebody that nobody watches. Do you want a piece of this?
Yes.
You're gonna have to work for a year,
Yes.
no pay.
Tell Celsius I want the deal, dude. I was kidding. I really don't want it, dude.
No, but I'm glad we got to talk about it. And be
Yeah,
cool about it.
I think like boiling it back down, it's just and also I need to say this, like, there's one person from the equation missing. Like I can only represent all of this so well. I would assume he's probably going to give me my lashings for doing a poor job, and he'll whip me. He actually uses a leather belt on my bottom.
How's your guys' relationship?
No.
now?
But no, I want to finish that point. Someone's missing from this equation. I feel horrible about that because I'm doing the best I can to say what happened, but I wasn't. Bro, there was a lot of times where shit was going on, and I was just like driving a car, like halfway. You know what I'm saying? Because I always felt like I'm the third guy in the situation. I'm watching my parents argue. I've told you that before. It never felt like I was super tied into all of it. I think you guys need a show / a real conversation to fix whatever the fuck it is that you guys have going on. It's not as easy as
I'm
just
just
saying.
so
It's not
happy.
as.
I'm scared of going back, bro.
He's happy.
I'm not trying to be
He's
dick.
happy too, though, right now.
You let him be as happy as he wants.
No, he's happy too. I think now might not be a bad
Maybe
time for you
maybe
guys.
we were never meant to be friends.
No,
maybe we
that's
should-
not true. You guys did. You guys had a real beautiful thing, honestly, for a long time, and even with all the bullshit, bro. Like, without that friendship, there's places that he would be different in his life, and there's places you would be different in your life.
Oh, dude, I still give all the credit. I kind of want to pivot from this just because, like, like, it's unfair to talk about him because, like, he's not
here.
Yeah, yeah.
He's not here.
And just to make it clear, because people are going to clip it, nothing that I went through would I change. I had great memories. I have great memories with Logan. I really do. I have great memories with him. He's taught me so much in life that I could handle now through what he's put me through and what he's taught me. He is one of God's greatest sharpening tools that I've ever had in my life. There's going to be so many things that I teach my children that he taught me. There is nothing that I regret with that relationship, but I will not bow anymore. And if he wants to come to me as a man and we could discuss it as men, then we'll talk about it. But I'm no longer his right hand. I'm not going to be it.
Well, first of all, you were only his left.
Yeah, you were the right because you jerked them off so much.
I was going to say before you did, but I'm happy you got to get that one, dude.
I do pray that we could mend it and make it right.
Yeah, I mean, or not. But just as no, but that's not how I mean it. I just mean like it's not dependent on any outcome, but it's just like ideally, you look back and you realize the gift and in both directions the gifts that it was, and it's man, it couldn't have ended in a worse way. What a fucking disaster, dude.
Not true.
No. The outcome, but the outcome was good for everybody except me. But I mean, it's.
I think it was like, it's so funny, bro. I journaled a lot, and it was like if you read those days, it's just water because my tears would just hit the And now when I look back at it, I was like, damn, bro, like I needed to go through that to find out who I am. And like, I'm so grateful. It's the most treasured moment in my life. And I'm so grateful for it that truly when I see you and when I see Logan, I am at awe and grateful. If it wasn't for you guys putting me on that show, I would nowhere be near where I am mentally, physically, financially, emotionally. If it wasn't for you guys in the good times and in the bad times, I would not be where I am today. And so I'm unbelievably grateful for it. But what I don't want to do is make past mistakes where I like forgive so quickly and then I go through the same thing. And you
don't really exactly have anything to lose in it now. Like you don't have a dependent in the situation. You're not dependent on a show. You're not dependent.
I own the show still. Impulsive?
You own? Oh yeah, all of it.
No, I just own my percent. They couldn't take that away. They didn't tell you that?
No, I don't even know how any of this works.
I get a check every month, but I'm not a part of it. I own it, and we fought for that in court. Like that was the one non-negotiable. I got paid of every episode you guys done.
But I don't even get any money.
I'm just messing with you, bro.
Oh, I was like,
yo, Mike was like, what?
No, there's no way that could have happened because I would have heard about it.
You would have read it, bro. You see the breakdowns of it.
Yeah, man. I mean,
well, dude,
look at us now.
Dude, you know what my favorite part of all of this is? I mean this with all of my heart. I mean this. I get to still have you as a friend.
I'm here.
No, for real, and I mean that. And God willing, I get to have that with Logan. And maybe if fucking Bobby answers a DM or like
Bobby.
Because dude, you know what sucked? I loved Bobby's comedy. Bro. I was there as a fucking fan.
The messed up thing,
lit up, bro.
The messed up thing about it is I thought I had it fixed up.
I think he thinks that I'm mad at him.
Well, I mean,
I wasn't mad at him. I was mad at you guys, and I don't mean to group you guys in. But to me, it was like I saw a comedian being a comedian, but then I saw my co-host just like fucking, I couldn't breathe, and they were just shoving my head down in water.
Well, no, but I think that's what everybody...
I ended up being quiet, and I was like, okay, I'll just be quiet because I'm really messing up the flow. And then he just, dude, Bobby's talking, he goes, he's checked out, fuck him, go back to him, stupid bitch, look at him, he's checked out.
I don't know how I would have dealt with it either. I don't know how I would have dealt with it.
Look at him. Of course I'm going to get up and leave, bro. What the hell did you want me to do?
Do you feel better about having had the conversation? Or was that shit that you'd already like kind of worked through anyways?
I think I worked through it because I got grateful for it. So like I know that I needed to go through it. it was uncomfortable for me to like talk about it on camera because like it was.
I'm talking about right now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right now,
Yeah.
I'm super uncomfortable talking about it.
No, so am I. It killed the whole vibe. Like honestly, we shouldn't even. We should just talk about everything else except. This.
I'm glad we did though because now when I look at you, there's nothing that I wanted to just say to you. Like I just said it all, and now
you still want to punch me in the face.
I'm never gonna hit you guys. I would never.
But you
hit
still
you guys.
want to. Me just a little bit.
I wanted to smack you, bro, because the reason I wanted to smack you is because, bro, like you're so freaking good at talking that if you say certain things, the whole camp is like, and then all of them are just.
But it was always pro George Kool-Aid. That's what that's the part.
But when it wasn't good tasting.
I was trying.
But you would crash into the building. Oh yeah.
I was trying to get people to give up their king size bedrooms to you at that hotel in New York, and I was even going to go in the 2 twin bedroom.
Let's move on from that.
Yeah. How was Romania as a place, and like what was the atmosphere like?
It was just like a movie, bro. I literally felt like I was just there with Reed and Davidge, and we were sitting there, and like I was just super excited, and I was just super nervous.
For sure, bro. I mean, think about it. We remember when we were going to quick change, but on this topic. Remember we were going to Saudi that time, and there was the huge threat of the Iranian drone attack.
Bro, I just talked about this recently.
And you were like, I can't do this. I was with you, and you're like, I can't do this. I can't do this. I'm like, George, listen to me. Please calm down. The plane doors are closed. You cannot do this right now. I'm telling you, if you do
get out of Germany.
we're
just not now.
Yes. I was like, I was like, we're landing in Germany in like Hamburg or something like that, or Frankfurt. Don't worry about it. If there's going to be a drone attack, it's not going to be in Germany. So let's just get there at least. And you're like, I can't do it. I can't do it. You like stood up, grabbed your bag, ran off. And the lady was at the door like, sir, you're not leaving this plane. And you're like, I'm leaving this fucking plane. I'm leaving this plane. I was like, bro, they're going to ground stop this thing. We're never going to be able to take off.
No, he literally told me, he goes, bro, you're causing a scene. You need to sit down. By the way, we have too many airport stories. Like way too many.
Every single one of our bonding moments happened on an airplane.
Bro, I mean, dude, because Mike is so calm under pressure, right? But all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I just see him do this. I'm not exaggerating.
I didn't want to tell you.
Bro, and he just looks at me, and I go, what? You're like, nothing. And I was like, what do you not want to tell me? He goes, nothing, don't worry about it. I go, Mike, if you don't fucking tell me right now, I'm going to cause a scene. He goes, dude, okay. And then he just passes me his phone. This is me. I go. I just take my bag.
Because I didn't know what to do because it was such specific news. It was like
directly towards where we're at.
It said U.S. State Department warns of imminent drone attack by Iranians on large gathering in Saudi Arabia.
For WWE.
Yeah.
Bro, no,
And I'm reading this. When I read that, I was like, now if this said everything except for one of these things, I wouldn't even tell George. But it would basically the first line after the title said like George and Mike among guaranteed casualty. That's what I read. And I was like, dude, if I don't tell George and he dies, he'll have Christ not let me in, dude. Like I'll
come up to the golden rope and I'm like, he's good. Oh, Mike from Lovesack. How you doing, buddy?
You didn't want to tell me that we were gonna die.
Yo, you know what's so funny? I don't know if you remember this, but you passed me the phone, and the one thing that you did to calm me down for only 1 minute calmed me down. You leaned in, you're like, hey dude, you're messing up a lot, okay? If you ditch right now, Logan's never gonna forgive you. You've been fucking up way too much. And I sat there like this, I was like, okay. I was like, wait, no, I don't want to be here anymore. It's just like
it worked, right? It worked. It at least paused you long enough that you couldn't escape.
Bro, yeah, and then, you know, it's so funny. Like, again, those were just funny moments. We were at the WWE thing, and we just did this big freaking fun thing. And like an old dad, he comes up to me, shakes my head. Logan, he shakes my head, goes, see, kid? He goes, nothing to worry about. He goes, you being scared. And then he just freaking vanishes into the crowd. And I was like,
fucking sound like that, George.
He looked exactly like
he did not pet your head, fake punch your cheek and say, you see what happened,
He even got
kid?
on a knee, too.
Dude,
He's like, come on, slugger.
No,
and
dude.
And I was like, you know what? For a really mean dad, you come in clutch sometimes.
This is one of these moments
GP,
where people
bro.
are just like, we always joke around about shit. Like, we always joke around about shit. And the audience is just, and by the way, it's part of the magic. Like that movie, Smoking Aces, where he spins the card in that dramatic scene and he says, you see only what I want you to see. right? Like
That's what you guys said to me on the Bobby Lee episode when you cut around.
all fucking mighty. See, like what you like, dude. This kid's out of fucking control, bro.
Oh
He's
shit!
but also,
I feel good now, bro. I feel like there was something on my chest, and now that it's off of my chest, I feel good, bro. I feel really. Hey, Mike, thanks for coming, bro. What happened? Why are you so scared?
no, I had a important call that could have potentially set me up for the rest of my life. Like, I'm actually not joking. That I pushed off for this episode.
Wow.
It was an IP, a brand play. No. If you, they can wait a half an hour. This is important stuff.
Do you want to just take the call?
No.
You sure?
No, yeah, because we're close. I mean, we're a couple hours in. We'll be a couple hours in.
Okay.
What's the longest episode you've ever done? I'd be honored.
Oh, you won't.
Fuck, it's not gonna happen, is it?
I think the Patrick and David was it?
I think Tony Robbins was longer. It was 3.
Was it?
Yeah,
I
think it was
can't.
like 250 or like 255.
I think I broke my headphones.
Welcome back to the show. If you didn't know this, there actually was a break right there because I had to piss. I'm almost 40 years old. My bladder's continuing to shrink day by day, and I've drank so much. No, I'm just kidding. And this LA tap water is running through my bones right now. Which, by the way, did you notice that in the hottest moment of our discussion before I spilled water all over myself?
I thought you were trying to cool yourself off because you're getting steamed.
I didn't.
I thought you were mad.
How did you know that? I'm just kidding. Okay,
You're doing this this
what?
fighting thing.
Oh yeah, karate combat.
What is
it's
this?
amazing. It's amazing.
Are you going to be the Joe Rogan of this karate combat?
I don't think I have the capability to do that. So basically, Karate Combat is a new fighting platform, right? Where it's an MMA platform where two very experienced fighting purists get into this pit, this walled pit. So there's these 45-degree walls that line the pit that they're able to use. There's no grappling, so you can't grapple, you can't wrestle, you can't go to the ground. It is simply
striking,
violence, striking with hands and feet, knees, so on and so forth. So it's a very violent, knockout heavy program, which is currently taking place once a month all over the world. It's on UFC Fight Pass. It's for free on YouTube. It's for free on Twitter.
Who started this?
So the league's been going for some time. I think we're on 46 or 47. We just did Dubai last month. Right now there's this guy, Awesome, President Awesome, who's just this
It's not a real name.
His name's Asim. Like
Okay,
ASIM.
that makes sense.
But we call him President Awesome, and he's incredible. He's doing a great job. He's restructured the company, and there's some really, really great people. I mean, GSP's involved. George St. Pierre. George St. Pierre is one of the greatest combat sports athletes and minds and people ever in the history of combat.
Do you say that because he could beat you up?
No, yes. And also Bas Rutten. And Bas Rutten is involved as well, and he's also has his own just equally insane to GSP history in combat sports, incredible Dutch, fighter. These guys are two of the greatest legends in the game. And I have the honor of sitting beside them once a month to call these incredible fights. Which you can watch for free. You can come to the event, and I add color commentary as well as I call myself the voice of the casuals. So people who just like to watch combat but don't really know what's going on. These guys are tactical, technical. They know all the terminology and everything that goes on.
You're the viewer.
And I'm alongside the viewer. I'll read the commentary from the YouTube audience. We hate Mike. Logan Paul's ball sack. Like Lana Rhodes' ex. Like, I'll read those comments, and then I'll just talk to the audience and just have a good time, basically.
Nice. Is Jeff a part of it?
Bro, so I brought Jeff to Dubai, okay? So for this last event in Dubai, it was our biggest event yet.
Yeah.
And they had, all of these huge celebrities showing up. I asked Jeff to come on, my sweet Jeff, to be the post-fight announcer because he loves combat sports. I thought it would be a cool opportunity for him. And whenever I get involved in something, it's always my hope that I can get my friends involved because it makes it more fun for me and people make money. And it's just a great thing. Yeah. So I get Jeff involved. The day of, they decide that they want him to do the celebrity interviews throughout the crowd as opposed to the post-fight. So just pull a 180 on him the day of the event, like an hour before the event. Like imagine somebody told you your big thing and it just changed completely. Like all your lines for a movie or a podcast you're about to do. So he's going to be the celebrity interviewer. And the first person he's going to interview is a man by the name of Salman Khan, the largest Bollywood actor in the world. He has almost 100 million
I know who
followers
this
on
guy
Instagram.
is.
Yeah. Okay.
He's a handsome man.
Massive. Okay.
Is he the one with 2 thumbs?
I think he's got 2 thumbs. Yeah.
Dude, this
I'm
guy's
pretty-
like a legend.
I'm pretty sure.
And by the way, like
Is that different than? And do you have 2 thumbs?
No. He has like 2 thumbs on a thumb. There's
I'm
a
not
ball.
sure.
There's
Is
a
it-
ball.
He has 4 thumbs.
Oh, so he's 4 thumbs.
He has 3.
Oh, he's 3 thumbs.
So
How many thumbs does he have? Can you? Do you have a producer for the show?
Could you just look
Can
it
you
up?
look up number of thumbs Salman Khan has?
One of them has 2 thumbs, and I realized this, and I was like, wait a second, what is
Salman Khan?
It's-
Salman.
that? And then somebody else told me that it's like it's a very, very awesome thing, and it's like something they celebrate. I don't know the. I have to have somebody comment below.
I really know already for a fact that this is wrong. Like, it's my guess that this is completely incorrect, and you've just offended the entire Indian country. Like, I already know it for a fact.
Nothing's coming up.
Yeah. So
Could you type in Indian actor
thumbs
with 2
with
thumbs?
No. Three
3
thumbs.
thumbs. 3 thumbs. Don't laugh. I'm being so serious, dude. Because my dad watches Bollywood movies. I watch it with him.
Horrific Rokan.
How do you
That
think
guy.
Rokam?
He's like a
that's-
legendary
So that's
actor.
not.
So I
who
thought
it
you were
was.
talking
yeah,
about
so
him.
it wasn't him.
Got it.
He was actually still in New Delhi at
Got
that
it.
point, or Mumbai.
You're gonna
So
get
you-
smoked. For
Why?
this.
Why? Those
They're
are
not
shitty-
going to give this 2 thumbs up. I'm going to tell you that.
They're not going to give it 3 either, dude. It's your fault, not mine.
Okay.
So his no, it doesn't matter, dude. So his job was his first interviews with Salman Khan.
Yeah.
Bro, he botched this, bro. So it was Salman Khan, and it was President Awesome, and he went up to Salman Khan. He's like, what do you think of all this action? And Salman Khan's talking. He's like, wow, I'm just very impressed. He's like very well spoken, and like he's talking slow, but Jeff just ripped the mic back away from him quick. Like, I don't think he was done. And he asked him one question, and then his second question he started with, and just one more thing, which, by the way, you never say as like a second question. It's not like you've asked him that many things. Like, you usually would say that to rap an interview. He's like, and just one more thing. How proud are you of your nephew, who's President Awesome? I guess they're like related in some way. So he said, well, he's a big boy now. And then President Awesome jumped in to like say a quick note to like respond, and Jeff ripped the mic away. And he goes, he said something ridiculous, like, my pleasure very much. Back to you, bro. And I'm watching this in the booth, and I'm like, by the way, I have a shemagh on, a huge shemagh and a thobe, and I'm sitting there in Dubai, and I'm just like, motherfucker, dude. I was like, and then I get off, he goes, I'm fired, right? I go, yo, you're fired, dude. It was so funny, dude. It was so funny, and then I clickbaited my video with it today.
That's so
We have
funny.
beef with India's biggest movie star on my useless content where I help no one.
Are you calling
Are
me?
you leaving the show?
Are you calling me? You were
No,
like this.
it was like a clap, but quieter.
Oh, yeah,
thought-
you don't
I thought he was
usually
getting
make
his attention.
audio effects
Yeah,
in
he
the
was just
background.
like, sorry, that was rude. That's so funny.
yeah,
But also,
Fight
like,
League
people
once-
get nervous doing that type of job. It's a very nerve-wracking job.
1,000%.
Have you seen Joe Rogan, the way he holds the mic with fighters? He holds onto that shit
ain't
like it's
getting
pure
that
light.
mic.
He's like, he's
Yeah, when Israel Adesanya got the mic from him, I was very surprised at that time. But
How
yeah,
did he get that?
Well, how did he get the? He said, Joe, can I have that mic for a couple minutes? And then
He asked.
Yeah, Joe. Gave it
That's
to
when
him.
he released it.
In Miami, and then he said, if you can feel like this just one time in your life, it was such an awesome moment in UFC. But yeah, but Jeff, dude, no, Jeff was nervous. That was it. Bro, if you put Jeff, Bobby Lee said something important to me on the last show because he was encouraging me to do something in comedy, and I was like, bro, I sweat too much, bro, and I get really nervous. He goes, I was like, look, I'm sweating right now because I was sweating on his show. He was like, yeah, but if you did my show 5 more times, would you still sweat? And I was like, wow. I was like, no, I wouldn't. You got to do shit that scares you. I would still sweat.
You would still sweat.
I'm so sweaty.
You sweat.
I'm a sweater.
It's just no big deal.
I'm a knit sweater.
You sweat.
Yeah.
And you know what? Good for you.
Yeah.
You
It's
get
probably
those
good for
toxins
you.
out.
Yeah, it's probably good for you.
Very good
There's
for
probably
you.
still a little
I
heroin.
pay Equinox to go and sweat.
There's probably still a little heroin in there from 14 years ago that I can
You're
still
making a reel? I don't know what to do here anymore.
Dude, I'm not letting you get away without telling me about the pleasures of Romania.
I was disappointed in the food.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because we've traveled to like places that have really good food.
Right.
I was excited because I was like, oh, cool, good food. Anytime I get out of America, I'm
Wait,
just, like,
where
excited.
were you exactly again?
Romania.
You're Old Town.
The people were amazing.
Yeah.
It felt very safe.
Yeah.
And
Like
just
vampires look like.
do you know what it felt like, bro? It felt like and I'm not here to just like gas the trip or like make it seem like it's more than it was. Me and Reed always laugh because it feels like we just met the mob. Like we did an interview with them
I
and
get
just
that.
like
No, I get that feel.
it was just a really cool experience.
But what
man.
was so what was your first impression of Andrew?
Bro, I'll never forget it. Because this is my first big guest, and I think I'm gonna like, I think this is gonna do well. At the time, I was like telling Reed, I'm like, this is gonna get 1 million views. And I literally hear him coming. David slides into the door. He goes, "Oh, he's here." And then he's super tall, bro, and like it's super intimidating when he has so many bodyguards around him. And he came in, and he just like, it was a sweet and sour thing. It was like I was so nervous. But when he stuck his hand out and smiled, I felt safe. Like I was like, oh, he's not here.
Well, because you also knew that he supports you and what you talk about.
Yeah, but I don't know him, right?
No. I get that. So, I just wonder what the experience would be like for, say, me to be in that room. Because we've spoken and he's asked me to come on and not for. See, you crushed it because you did it for your show.
Yeah.
We've had back and forths before debates where he's said, "Come on my show," which I would happily do. He just wanted me to come to Romania, and I said to him, like, it's now with everything that's going on in Gaza, I really just don't want to be doing too much over there. Like I'll pop into Saudi or pop into Dubai now. It's just the world feels weird right now. You know what I'm saying? And like I know it's weird coming from me when we were flying into an imminent drone attack, and I was completely cool about it. But like,
yeah, but now it's like real. Like,
yeah,
like that
I don't
might
know.
happen.
Yeah, I've been staying.
I don't know how you guys. I don't know how you guys would get along.
No, we crush it.
Yeah,
we have a great
I think
time.
you guys would do good. I felt like I made a friend. Like we still chat.
Yep.
I just invited him to the cigar lounge that opened up. And as a joke, I said, I was like, it's my thank you for kickstarting my podcast. Because like, bro, like we took a break in between. It was like a few hours, but in the middle, we took a break. And when we were on our way to the bathroom, he just looked at me. He goes, this is going to go crazy.
Yeah.
And like, when he said that, I was like, I agreed with him and I knew it was going to do well. I just didn't know it was going to, dude, it pushed me to a whole
bro,
different realm.
I mean, I would say that you probably have like the preeminent Tate interview, right? Like,
Thank you.
like what you were able to do by way of disarming him from what is generally a pretty passionate but defensive Tate because of the amount of attack that he's under from a daily basis. And if you're watching this, maybe you think it's right, maybe you think it's not right, whatever the case. If you're under that level of bombardment all day from the internet, you tend to be a little bit quick to react and combative, which is part of his brand. But and I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean that's part of his brand. Yeah. But the way that you were able to humanize and disarm him to a point where he just felt really comfortable. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen anyone give him advice before. And like to see you like like that was crazy, bro.
Bro, it's so funny because people say that, and it didn't really hit me until he told me. He messaged me. He's like, bro, people come up to me to ask me about your like podcast.
Right.
And that blew me away because, bro, I was like part 3 of a big podcast. This guy is like one of the most famous individuals in the world. I went in there just feeling super blessed to be able to have a conversation on my show. I never went in there being like, I'm going to disarm him or like, I'm going to give him advice. I think me and him both showed up as 2 men willing to have a conversation with each other and learn from each other. And it just taught me that, I don't need to try too hard. And then 2, I think that if people came to him with like more respect, instead of just trying to trap him, that they would get that same result that I did. I came in there not judging and just trying to understand who he was. And out there, we both grew from it. I learned a lot from him. When he took me back to his house and I got to meet him and his brother, the conversations that they gave me behind closed doors, me and him talk about it till this day. He motivated me to be a better human being.
Are they always on?
More than you'll ever understand.
Yeah.
Those guys are the realest deal I've ever seen. And I'm not just saying that to suck up.
No,
like,
I know. That's why I only ask because that's what I assumed.
No, bro, it was motivating. And like when I was with him, the way that he talked and the way he talked with his brother, obviously there's some stuff that I was like, ooh, I would never do that.
Yeah.
But that's his behavior through his history.
Well, he's also in a different place.
It's his life. Like
Right.
he has to deal with that with him and God. But there was a lot. He's one of the few individuals that when I stood with him, it made me better. His presence made me better, and that's all I
More
ask out of my
confident,
neighbors.
more-
He just the way he asserted himself, the way he talked, the way he taught me his way of life, the way he was fearless, the way he stood on what he wanted to do. I understand why there's a lot of men that want to listen to him. I think that he has a lot of great things to say. He's not Jesus Christ though, so he's not going to be perfect.
Right.
I went into that knowing that. I know that this guy's an influential man. And when I see this man, I know that God's using him. Regardless of how he feels it, I know that God is using Andrew Tate to mend or bend to the will of what God's will is. So I just felt super honored and like excited to be there. And I think because it was such an organic, real conversation, that's what pushed the show. And that's what made me grow. And that's what made everybody say, oh, this is the best we've ever seen Andrew, is because I never went in there with the mindset of like, I'm going to clickbait him or I'm going to say this or blah, blah, blah. I just went in there as a student to learn from where other men learn from. And I wanted to see what I could learn. And through that, we just discussed ideas and traits. And him being like, oh, you gave me something to think. It wasn't like in a way where I was like, here, learn this and get back to me. It was just like, oh, I think this way sometimes. And he was like, oh, like you got me thinking. And I think everybody comes into that conversation trying to get Andrew to think that way. I never had that mentality.
Right.
I don't go into a conversation. No, I did it once with Dr. Jordan Peterson. I butchered that one because I went in there with a lot of ego and pride being like, I'm going to learn and I'm going to teach this guy some shit. And it backfired because I was like, oh, this is what
Was
the
there a
audience
moment?
wants
Was
me to
there
do.
a moment that in that episode that threw you off
Which one?
in Peterson?
The whole thing. There was three times he's sitting there talking to himself.
Yeah.
And I'm just staring at him. And I'm literally in my heart praying. I'm like, please, God, let me just keep up with this guy's mind.
It
I
just,
have no idea
it
what's
just
going on.
sucks, bro. It just sucks that, and it's one of the biggest things that you'll ever have to like learn in the podcast space. Not you, but anybody who's wanting to get into podcasting is like something's gonna happen in a show with a guest, especially if it's one-on-one and there's no one there to save you, where you're gonna say something that you fuck up, and your success in this space is dependent on your ability to continue on, like to bounce back from that, and
Yeah, I agree
sometimes you get so far off the path that you just got to suffer through the episode, and
It's
like
embarrassing.
You did.
So it's just like, you know what the worst part is, bro? It's like when you fail at your job, but your job is Mike Majlak. It
Right.
hurts.
Yeah,
Because
right.
like people are not like going into a fast food restaurant and you gave them the wrong burger. They're like, oh, I don't like you anymore.
It's not
As
that
a human being,
your-
you suck.
Your podcast doesn't suck. You suck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Bro. That's back to what I said earlier about like that showbiz, baby. Like that's part of this fucking job.
The way he said that, you know for a fact he splashed water on his face and just looked in the mirror. He's like, don't worry, man. It's showbiz, baby.
That's showbiz. Right,
Starts
Rick?
crying.
Right, Rick? But yeah, dude, that was just an incredible moment that you had. And
Can I
moment
ask
in
you guys
time.
something? What?
Yeah.
And this
When
is
you
just
say
me as
you
a
guys,
fan.
do you mean me and Logan again,
Yeah.
or who do you mean specifically?
Actually, you guys.
What, can I please?
No, you guys are
audience
one.
out there,
You guys
please.
are one.
I have my own balls.
No, you
my
don't.
own penis. I promise you.
No.
He tells me when I could use them, but I do have my
No,
own.
no, no,
yes.
no, no.
Don't
I just
you
gotta
fucking
ask,
do it.
I gotta
dude.
ask, just because like, I'm not gonna lie, bro. When like I stored that episode for a month because I wanted it to be the season finale.
Yeah.
And me and Reed would just open up the laptop and giggle when we looked at it. We're like, I wonder what they're gonna say when they see this. What did you guys think when I had that episode? And it was like just.
I mean, I think I was in shock that you went out there because I didn't see that. Like I saw that first of all as like, because George, like once again, let's talk about just me, and I promise you it's Logan too, but I'll talk about just me. As much as the audience or you or anybody wants to think I'm there like this motherfucker. Me and David are sitting there like he got fucking Tate. He actually went to Romania. I'm like, this is a moment of growth for him. He's traveling to these crazy places. And David, I'll be honest with
Me
you.
and David never stopped talking.
David was cheering for you more than anyone.
Bro, we talked all the time.
David was. He was like,
How weird is
George
that, though?
Janko's the real #1 podcast. Like, I am not kidding. Yo,
Bro, David's a real one, bro.
is your number one supporter. I
Bro,
promise you.
who
bro.
would have thought the guy who had no happiness or soul in his body would be the one that always like, you know what, bro? You know what, bro? You're motivating me. I am, and he would show up with his beautiful girlfriend. We would hang out, and I would just sit there, and I'd be like, so what are the boys think?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, yeah.
And he's like, ooh, you know, they're they're watching. And I'm like, yeah, thanks,
Oh
bro.
no, yeah, we saw all of it, bro. It was incredible. And then you followed it up with another one, and it was like, damn, dude, is he gonna be getting fucking 20 to 30 to 50 million views on every podcast? Is he George Rogan? I was like, what? I was like, dude, this is crazy. But yeah, no, man, like honestly, kudos to you, and you crushed it. You went for it, like you've told me earlier to do. You went for it. You actually went. You showed up to an episode that probably made you very nervous, and you prepped. Oh my, George. Let me tell you this.
I knew it.
Let me tell you this. People saw views. People saw fucking pictures, videos. Logan saw this. I saw one thing. My boy George with a stack of papers. And cause bro, you already know, bro. I was like, dude, this is a changed man, because we had that ongoing joke all the time about George showing up
Never being prepared.
with no
But in
prep.
my defense, I thought that's what they would want.
No, it was.
Because you were prepared, he was prepared, and I thought I'd just be the audience member.
You were on the
where
fly.
I was like, yo, like, what's going on? And
Yeah.
they're like, dude, he's this guy. And I'm like, oh, I would show up and be like, who's this guy? And Logan would be like, what the fuck are you doing here, bro? And I was like,
who's this guy?
I go,
George, it's Snoop Dogg. I know you don't follow
dude,
hip-hop
you know, it's
that
so
close,
funny
man.
you say that, bro. It's so funny because, dude, this is actually really, because one of the things that I had to learn was like, yo, I can't just rely on my natural. I got to go out and go even hungrier and be more prepared. And that was something that I had to learn. And I'm preparing for this episode, bro, and I just start laughing because I was like, only if they could see how much I'm prepping now for this episode. And so the fact that you brought that up, that shit had me dying of laughter.
We saw them papers, dude. I saw those papers. I was like, damn, this dude cut a tree down for this episode. I was like, this is crazy, bro. So much prep, dude.
No, it was a cool episode. He was right. It did change my life. That was sick. And dang, bro, like I don't even know. Like honestly, like everything just happened so quick. The two things that I could gather from this whole experience is just like have great faith in our Lord. Just that's like truly number one. And then rejoice. Rejoice, rejoice, rejoice. You'll always find a reason to be upset or depressed. Bro, we were on the #1 podcast in the world and I had a list of complaints. Like I couldn't imagine presenting myself in front of God and God going, hey, shut up.
Look who you're talking to. Are you fucking serious? Bro, there should never be a single day of my life, regardless of viewership, show, problem, girlfriend, family, where I am not saying I am the luckiest person on this planet, most blessed person on this planet. I am not supposed to be here. Yeah. Not supposed to be here. There's no one else who did the amount of drugs I did, drove the cars the way I did, fucked up, went to ICU 3 times, had all of my blood exchanged with other people's blood, had organs removed, that is sitting in the fucking place that I am today. I'm one of one. Shout out to Steve-O, maybe. One of one. There's no one else who has fucking climbed out of that fucking gutter and is in a place where I can now go and talk to other addicts and other people suffering the way that I did. That's it. Every day I should wake up, sit up in bed and say, thank you, God, for even letting me take one more breath. And I'm still working on it, bro. It's something at least I know, at least I'm aware. Because some people aren't aware of that.
No, amen,
I'm
bro.
aware, and that's
I
the
wasn't
start.
aware.
Right.
I didn't know that I was such a bright light, but such a dark one at the same time.
I could be that too.
Yeah, 100%.
For sure.
I think I learned that even studies have shown if you're grateful, you could never be anxious.
Yeah,
And
you used to tell me that all the time.
And I would read that Bible verse to you where it's like, oh, if you're anxious, rejoice. But I would preach that to people, but I would never act that around people.
Right.
So it was a very bad place for me to be in to tell people how God is and then represent Satan all the time, right?
Right.
So that I had to work on. So he separated me. I worked on myself. And the 2 takeaways from everything that I went through is give all glory and all praise to the Lord and rejoice. Literally, if you just focus on Jesus Christ and rejoicing when you're in the gutter or when you're on top, because both could be pieces of crap.
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
You could be on top and be like, this is it. This is what all I did. And now I'm still miserable. Give me the gun. Right. And then there's at the bottom, like, I can't get out of this. Give me the gun.
Right.
Like, there's like, you always could find this mental abuse and mostly it's on yourself. The people around you really want you to see you succeed. So I had to fix myself from the inside out. I read in the Bible where Jesus was talking to the Pharisees, and he says, you guys are so concerned about your outer cup, but your inside is filthy. And I had to take a look in the mirror and be like, yo, I am trying to represent the outside of my cup as if it's so good, but the inside of my cup is dirty. So like I literally just focused every single thing, all of my energy towards Jesus Christ. And God goes, oh, seeking first the kingdom, then let me give you everything else. And then everything got put on my lap, bro. That's when people are like, yo, I'm proud of you for doing what you did. And I'm like, dude, I did nothing. I did nothing but praise God and just show up. Praise God and just show up. And then all of a sudden, everything just kept, but it's a cheat code because now when you give all the glory to God, you give all the anxiety to God. So like, I'm just sitting here as a passenger, just enjoying what's happening, seeing myself rekindle with my friend. Anytime I try to do that by myself, it backfired. I try to do my career by myself, it backfired. I try to rekindle with you, I acted like an idiot, it backfired. But then I gave it to God, and then through that, he washed me and he put me back.
And said, George, get on this plane.
Yeah.
And I was like, and bro, and the way I said that on PBD was like, when I knew when I started talking about the cabin situation, it was gonna, I as soon as I said, I was like, there's no coming back from this. I was like, it was a feeling that I had. That like I remember when I was talking about like the first class situation.
Yeah. Oh, bro, that was so funny when you brought that up.
No, and I'm happy everybody like laughed at it.
Dude, me and Bell looked at each other like, why would he say that?
Because I like the way I tried to present it was it made me feel already like a scumbag.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Where
I got what you're.
Okay.
So
yeah,
I understood what you're saying, and I thought that was really funny.
Okay. Yeah.
But from an outside perspective, people are like, "What the fuck, Mike? Why would you bring that up?"
As soon as I said it, the commentary stuff started, and it was like had to bring up that he was in. No, I was like, no, you're not understanding. I was saying it made me feel stupid in the situation. Like, all right, guys, well, maybe I'll still be waiting when you guys get off the plane. You know what I'm saying? Like a fucking asshole. You know what I'm saying? Like, it made sense in my mind. I guess it made sense to you. But
when you said it, I was like, oh man,
this idiot.
You know what it is? It's so funny. Like you're so well rounded with your thoughts and your words, but sometimes
they don't join up.
When you're on a camera or a podcast, it just goes poof, gone.
It's one of the problems I have.
Okay, well, hold on. How is there anything good happening right now we could discuss?
Everything. I mean, dude, there's so much good stuff going on. I mean, we talked about karate combat, and more so, like right now, I'm trying to think of
where are you moving?
I'm selling the house. I'll probably stay here for the time being.
Why don't you come to Arizona?
Honestly, dude,
we could start a podcast.
Honestly, dude, I'm really, I in a weird way, I kind of want to like just shed a skin, like really just start fresh in a lot of ways. I said, look at you and I look at, bro, even Logan and Jake, bro, they shut their YouTube channels down. They picked up boxing. They didn't even talk about boxing. They were just boxing. They were just prepping, exercising, fucking around boxing. Look what it turned into. Like I think sometimes, bro, if you're in the extreme luxury that we're in with the ability to potentially do it, where you're able to say, you know what, this is no longer serving me or anyone else. I'm just going to give up everything. Yep. Like, dude, there's been moments recently where I've been thinking about going to Nepal. To Nepal, where like the Buddhist monks live. Buddhist monks? Do you know what Buddhist monk is? Nepal is a country.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was just a different Paul you were wanting to go to.
The new Paul. Nepal. Yes, yeah, exactly.
It's the new Paul.
Maybe I'm saying it wrong. Nepal. Anyways, it's where the Buddhist monks practice. And I've just been thinking about like, bro, more and more I've been discovering that this thing is this is the devil. Like promise you, bro. Promise you it is.
I agree with you.
Promise you it is. God, it can be God too. But more than, bro, 99% of it is the devil. Like, and
you gotta use your device. You can't have your device use you.
It's using most of us. It's using most of us.
It's so funny you bring this up. This stupid mic thing today. I'm so sorry.
I'm just holding it at this point.
No, mine too. I don't know what happened. You're just sitting here.
This is not new. Like, but even before you say it, like I've been thinking about a lot of. And thinking about and doing, as we said, are two very different things. I hope everybody watching that's the biggest learning from this episode. Like, stop thinking, start doing, and definitely everything you've said about giving glory to God. I've really been wanting to see what 1 week away from that thing looks like and feels like.
I
like
did it. No, I did it.
A full
It's the
week?
best.
A full week?
I had Jessica tell. I had an Apple Watch where I could
Yeah.
receive texts and calls.
Okay.
And I literally told Jessica, I go, for 1 week, I'm removing it. I watched a dopamine cleanse on YouTube, and
Yeah.
I was like, yo, I gotta try this.
Okay, talk to me.
I took off my phone, bro, and it was 100% the happiest week I've ever had in my life. And here's another reason. Dude, you disconnect. When I mean you disconnect from your fears, you disconnect from everybody else's anxiousness and depression, their drama, their problems, dude, Twitter, I can't spend more than 10 minutes on Twitter.
I don't even go on it anymore.
So my thing is now, through that 1 week, it taught me a lot to change my habits. Like, let me give an example. I will never touch my phone the first thing in the morning. Before I used to just roll, and while I'm in bed, you know the difference you'll have in your day if you just put yourself 30 minutes when you wake up without touching your phone. Just give yourself 30 minutes, Mike, just to unwind, wake up, just talk to yourself, gather your thoughts, breathe. Don't roll over and just feed, bro. Like, if you wake up and just start
Kendrick dropped a diss track against Drake. Oh my God, it's out. This is what it sounds like. Drake's gay and he's not even black enough to say the N-word. Adam22 thinks this of it. Porn. Look at this person fucking somebody else. Oh my God, that person's head got blown off. Look at it here with the blood still all over it. Like, bro.
Before you brush your teeth.
Before you even step foot on the ground, it's programming you to say, okay, life is chaos, and this is all it can ever be.
Yeah,
like it's so bad, and I like, honestly, one of the things that you do have that I'm envious of, but also I can get there too, is just this discipline to actually like enact these changes in your life. And it's something that I've really wanted to do. I've really wanted to step away from the digital world.
You grew another phone since I last saw you.
I know.
Like,
I have two
before
phones.
It was one.
I know.
Now it's two.
It's my burner.
Nice.
No, it's not. It's just
go back to that life.
There's photos on it, all kinds of shit. But I like, honestly, I really do think that's something I would really like to do. So I've been thinking about doing like some sort of meaningful cleanse and just break it all down a little bit, bro, and see what pops out, see what shits out on the other side, you know?
I think you should. I think anything that I think anything that could help your mindset is like the first thing we should do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think especially you, bro, because I think you're like me, where if you read or see something, the empathy thing, you feel it. So if you see somebody talking about the war and what they went through, if you see somebody talking about their addiction or whatever, we feel it because we're like, oh man, like I understand, and then you feel it and it carries on to you. I'm not saying you shouldn't look at that, and I'm not saying you shouldn't feel that. I'm just saying it shouldn't be the first thing you do right in the morning. You should definitely gather your thoughts. I would journal in the morning. Really put your heart out there. Understand what you're going to do. The one thing that also changed my mind, not my mind, but my life, is how I attack things. I handled the thing that I didn't want to handle the first thing of the day.
Right.
Somebody told me it's like eating a frog or something.
I usually
like that.
don't do that because I usually like to wake up first, but it is really smart. You're supposed to like do your big projects right when you wake up and then get to, because that's when you're like most creative or something like that. And then you get into all of your like tactical emails and stuff later. So you
think about it. So if you waste your most important brain time, just reading feeds and just absorbing what they're trying to tell you, you become a device to it.
Bro, it really sucks like how little discipline we have as a society, because if you really step back and look at the shit that we're consuming on a daily basis, it is such garbage. Like, it is all such garbage. Like, bro, like, you really have to be quite disciplined to be getting any value out of any of the content that's on the internet right now. Like, all of this shit. Like even I don't even really pay attention to any of the, like, presidential shit anymore because, dude, like, it's just so divisive. Like, it's like they just want us to be divided.
Yep, I agree.
That's all it is. Like, people are thinking about it like, people think about it so much as like, I'm pro-Trump, so all I want to do is hate Biden people, and pro-Biden people want to hate Trump people, but neither of them are collectively looking at it and saying,
let's work together.
Not even let's work together. Who is it that's making us want to be divided? Who is it that's making us want to hate each other? You know what I'm saying? And more so, saying, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to hate you simply because you believe in a different presidential fucking candidate than me. That is The dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life, and it is the most prevalent emotion in this country right now. Bro, let me tell you this. No one's coming to save you. No. God might. God will, right? God is. Trump is not going to save you. Biden is not going to save you. It's not going to happen. RFK is not going to save you. You can like them. You can believe in them. They're not going to just say, okay, Trump's not going to get in office and be like this. Rodney Mullins from Georgia, I'm really happy I got your vote. I noticed that you're paying a little bit too much for milk, a little bit too much for gas. There's a few too many potholes. The front of your porch is falling off. Your wife's cheating on you with the HVAC technician that keeps coming to your house. Your problems are in your home. Your problems are in your home, in your heart, and in your mind. And people have put so much emphasis on the damn eggs are too expensive, or Biden saying like you're doing this or this or that. They're teaching the kids all this stuff in schools. It starts with the parents. What's going on in your home? Are you telling your kids that what they're telling them in school isn't right? Are you sitting them down for an hour and be like, listen, whatever they're saying to you in school, I want to correct some of that. Let me spend an hour talking to you and really putting my effort and my life force into teaching you that the things that you're hearing might not be true, and this is what I'm learning, but let's be respectful and let's just get through this together. Or are you spending that hour online saying, fuck you, Biden supporter, or fuck you, Trump supporter? Like, what are we actually doing? Yeah. Like, what are we spending our time doing? Do you understand what I'm saying?
I agree. I think there's things that we should always discuss. I think discussion's always great, but there's discussion and there's just trolling and talking ill and like just straight up separation.
Yeah.
I don't, if somebody tells me, oh, I vote for Biden, I'm not going to sit there and just destroy them mentally. I would just...
A lot of people would.
Yeah, but that's the thing. When we're divided, we cannot stand. So I think there's a lot of people that think the way we do, where we just want to get everybody united. And I think the best way you could do that is by setting an example. When you hear somebody say something foolish, you take it peacefully, and then you discuss your thoughts peacefully. And if they start getting rowdy, you just sit there quietly and you just patiently listen to them. And I think the silence will kill them, or your calmness and your meekness will like offset them, and then they'll start showing their true colors.
Like you did with Tate. It disarms people.
You know what it is? It's just like I'm not ready to attack anybody because I have this mindset where like I'm just a filthy human that's gonna stand before God, and I'm really humbled that he's going to show me grace and forgive me for the dumb decisions that I make willingly. It's not like I accidentally made them, willingly made them. And so how am I going to look at this man that does equally as stupid things as me, and then I'm going to put my finger in his face?
So much judgment nowadays, dude.
Yeah, I don't
so
want
much
to do
ego
that.
and so much judgment.
But you know what? I think there's awakening, bro. I really do. Like, I see these young kids come up to me and talk to me about what they got in their hearts now and how they're talking, and I'm looking at these kids like, wow, you're profound, bro.
It's going in both polar directions.
Yeah.
It depends on what they're consuming. At the end of the day, to the point you made earlier, it depends on what they're consuming. And there is a lot of good pro-Christianity, pro-Islam, pro-religious, pro-whatever stuff out there right now, which actually is a great thing. There's a lot of traditionality content, conventionality content. And I have kids come up to me and they're like, oh, I'd love to see you move closer to Christ. And I think conversations like the one you're having and the show that you're putting on are the reason people feel more comfortable talking about it, which is a very cool thing to watch. But on the flip side, man, some of these kids are out there doing some real nasty shit at an even earlier age than we were.
I think as a society, we grow together. And I think the internet and the phones, but we're the first generation to ever have that for so long. These iPad kids are going to grow up very, very different from the way that the times where they used to give trophies to everybody. That made lazy, gaslighting, irresponsible, finger-pointing type of human beings.
Yeah.
The iPhone people and the iPad kids are going to have their own problems. But I truly think that whoever raises them will catch the wind, right? So, like, the iPad kids are going to be terrible parents, for example, if they are, right? And then the kids underneath them are going to learn from it. Like, a lot of an unbelievable amount of my friends that are really successful and have a good head on their shoulders came from terrible backgrounds because they did not want to be like their parents.
That's usually, it's.
So I think the next generation is going to be very, very, like, grown up because they're going to have to pay the consequences of our shenanigans.
Right.
And they're going to be like, oh, I don't want my kids to go through this.
Like, for example, and I don't know what you would call it on this show, but I have this is big, actually. I have a very different relationship with corn nowadays. It's porn.
Oh,
That's
got
what
you.
they say.
Oh, corn.
Yeah, I don't watch it anymore at all.
Good for you.
I don't.
Has it improved your sex life with your girlfriend?
Yeah, actually, it has. It
does.
It really has. So this is an interesting topic that we could dive into.
I would love to because there's a lot of kids. Well, let's talk about this, bro. You're good at getting out of addiction.
But why is it important for me to be talking about it?
Because you're good at getting out of addiction.
No. Well, yeah, but bro, I was in that world. I was, you know what I'm saying? Like I was in, you know what I'm saying? Like I was a part of that world.
Oh man, I forgot about that.
Like bro, some
You were deep in that world, bro.
Some gnarly shit has happened, bro. Some gnarly shit, and I have started to really realize the impact that the adult industry has on the girls in the space.
Yeah, dude.
And like this is the first time I'm talking about it, and people ask me every day, and I've not talked about it, but Emily Willis, bro, like really fucked up situation, dude. Like honestly, like where I don't know what to do in that scenario. Like as much as I'm a 39-year-old man, I don't know what to do in that scenario. I have reached out. I promoted the GoFundMe. I made a small donation. I don't know. I don't even know if it was, what the use case was for the donation. What else is needed? I don't know who to ask. I reached out to, I'm not going to say who, someone in the space. They thought it was a good idea that I did not continue to reach out to her, which was very upsetting for me.
Where is she at right now?
I don't know. So basically, Emily was in treatment for a continued, chronic issue with addiction, same kind of thing that I dealt with, different drugs, and had some sort of situation happen where she went into a coma, and evidently the toxicology came back clear, and that and drugs didn't play a role in her actually having this situation happen, which was shot. I still am very out of the loop on what exactly happened, but I really truly don't know what you do in a scenario like that. She had some level of improvement from what I understand. She was having eye movement and able to acknowledge stuff from people. I believe she was moved back to Utah to be closer to her family so that they can care for her. But I mean,
has she been in treatment since that one incident between us?
No. I mean, no, not in some semblance.
So she came in and out.
Yeah, you're talking about when you talked to her in the kitchen that time.
Yeah.
Probably some semblance just of in and out of it. But
because when we did the Sidemen thing, she looked clean.
I never really knew. I spent a lot of time with her prior to dating. So the story with me and Emily is we were spending a lot of time together prior to me and Lana dating.
Like romantically?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
No, yeah, you did. No, yeah, you did. Me and Emily were like in a lot of ways, like I think in her.
But that wasn't a serious thing. I think you guys were casual.
Casual, but I think you know how quickly it's possible to be serious in one person's mind and not the others. And more than anything, we were very, very close friends. Like if there was a problem, we would call upon each other, and she knew that I had been through similar shit that she had, and there was a history there. And when me and Lana started dating, kind of like quickly, I lost contact with her. I think it wasn't like it
wasn't appropriate to speak to another female.
And also I don't think she was. I don't know if she was like super happy about like the timeline and how quick it kind of like took off, and like me and her not like maybe having a chance to cut our thing off and like stop, talking and stuff. And me and Lana would move fast. You know what I'm saying? And so we ended up talking again after me and Lana split up, became friends again. We were shooting content. We jumped off the top of the Las Vegas Tower together. Like we did this like rappel and we were hanging out here and there. And she was, I love Emily. I love her. She is one of the best souls, just the sweetest souls that just, back to the beginning of this conversation, got tangled up in the demons of all of this life, you know. And
what was your learning curve from this? Like,
well, I don't know. I mean, I guess one of them is like, it is like, bro, I try my best to check in, bro. I try my best to check in. And as someone who built their life off of networking, I can only check in on so many people, bro. I mean, we talked about this earlier. Maybe I could have done a better job calling, texting a second time or a third time. Yo, I love you. I'm here for you. I'm here for you, bro. And I didn't do that with her either. And like, I'll get in these places where I am mad at myself because I haven't done what I could have done to prevent something. And I know that's not right, but like I'm like the person that had like the stuff to tell her. You know what I'm saying? That could have helped. And I did. Don't get me wrong. I had those conversations with her. But like sometimes I just get like a little bit like mad at myself. You know what I'm saying? For not having done something. And as an addict, like I should know it's not going to come from somebody else, bro.
do you feel like it could have gone differently if you would have handled it differently and you're weighing that on you?
No, because in the end I don't even know that it was drug related. You know, the toxicology came back and it was clear, and I don't know. I'm really venting right now, and I haven't talked about this, and I haven't really even talked to anybody about this. Like obviously I'm not in a rush to like talk to my girlfriend about this situation, or like really, I don't really have anybody to talk to about it. So I'm not like, I don't have like a stance. I'm just confused. I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know if I reached out to one person, like I said, they just said like, I don't think it's appropriate that you talk to her, which hurt me. And I'm not going to say who that person was, but like that like hurt me, bro, because I've been friends with Emily for a long time. And, I don't know. I just really don't know like what else can be done. What do you even do in that situation? Do you show up? Like even more so like as like a fucking human, like those moments are terrible, bro. Like going and seeing that is like is she even gonna know I'm fucking there? Or am I gonna be the only one that knows that I'm there? And am I gonna be the only one that has to live with that vision of seeing that? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like I have no info. I have no fucking info on the situation.
I think you're holding a lot of weight on you because deep down you hold more wisdom than the surroundings that you're a part of. So when you see somebody on the path that you were on, and you dude, remember, you didn't put a gun to her head saying do these drugs and do this life. There's a part of you that has that reality check where you're like, okay, this has nothing to do with me. We became friends when you're in this life. But then there's other part of you that's like, well, I wrote a book not to say I'm a book writer, it's because I want to help people. And I think that what's hurting you is that you see periods in your life where you could have stepped in and kind of pushed her in a way that a shepherd does sheep. You're not going to control the sheep, but you could help manage and say, hey, you know, like I've been here, I know where you're at. You should act like this and doing this. So I think the takeaway is this, bro, like take from the bad and the good and move on. You're broken and so is she, so you shouldn't be holding the weight of her decisions. But moving forward, when you're next year and you see in this young girl's eyes moving in the same way that Emily would be, then take it upon yourself to be like, no, I'm not going to let this one fall through the cracks. So if God forbid she does go into the fire, I could rest assured knowing that I chose and did everything that I can to get you from not to touch the fire. I think what's hurting you now is that you know your influence, and you know that you make money off of your influence and you have power over your influence. So that same sword that you wield here that you could celebrate could cut a neighbor next to you. And so when you hold this type of power in your hand when somebody falls in front of you and you know you could have done something, especially when you know you're empathetic, dude, it's gonna hurt you. And as it should, because you don't want to forget this moment. It would be worse for you to see this and then not take it into consideration. That's when you should be worried. But for you to be sitting there puzzled, hurt, confused, frustrated, that's good. You're trying to work out this problem. Rest assured, none of it's on your fault. None of it.
I know that. I know as somebody who like couldn't be changed by any doctor or rehab, like, you know what I'm saying? Like it took me taking those cues, but like any addict watching this, like it's on you. It's on them. It's only when they're so sick of it and they can't take it anymore. They can't live one more day in that shame, that pain, that sadness, that despair, and they decide to pull themselves out of that pit. You know,
I think you should bring it to God. And I know it's like, okay, here's the part where he talks about God.
I mean, I do. I pray for her. I pray for her, but I just honestly, like, I don't. It's just such a weird situation, bro, because I've lost people. And honestly, like this is something people talk about when they come from, not that I do, but when they come from like a real gutter street life. It's almost, there's closure in death. Seeing someone kept alive by a machine is a very, very hard thing to cope with, you know? And I have nothing on her family members and loved ones, you know what I'm saying? Like that, I'm a friend, you know, who cares deeply about her. But like, dude, there's such a difference between, it's almost like this purgatory. You know what I'm saying? That like, you're just, you as a person, you're praying and hoping every day that things are going to get better. But I just don't know, man. I don't know how to even approach it.
I think the toughest thing that a leader or a father or a husband or a mother could go through is doing their absolute best to give wisdom to someone you love so they don't hurt themselves, but then you're watching that person hurt themselves over and over again. Like, for example, your mom. Like, your mom suffered more than you. You suffered because you were in the situation that you were in your body and in the blood and the transfers. And yes, you hurt, but I promise you, bro, I promise you with every bit of my heart, your mother hurt more.
Well, I know that. You read the book.
Yeah.
You know I know that. I
So-
mean, it's
so,
like...
So that's the thing. And I think maybe that's the driving vehicle for you to do what we were talking about in the beginning of this episode is like, I think that you know that there's a lot more Emilys out there. And I think that and I hate to be the guy to say this, but I think that you dabble in the industry that puts people in that place.
Which one?
I mean, bro, like when you have a porn star girlfriend and you promote this stuff.
No. That's why I brought this conversation up.
So-
well, hold on. I want to be a little cautious. I know there was no OnlyFans links. There was no. My goal.
When you see Mike Majlak, you think of beautiful naked women and burgers. That's your brand. You could fight me.
I'm not fighting you and
But we'll know the
disagreeing you at
comments are
all.
gonna
But
say-
no. The comments, they don't have to because I agree with you.
Oh, okay. I thought you were
But
saying
I'm
that.
not. There was a little bit of nuance there.
What does that mean?
It means there's people who promote adult content and there's people that promote content by way of personalities who happen to create adult content. Does that make sense?
But what happens
Like,
when
there's a difference-
somebody watches you and then walks that direction?
No. There's a reason why I no longer make that type of content. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason why I know that's what catalysted this. Was the catalyst to this entire conversation. Let me just say this because just to really try to get it right. I always thought, and they are. I still think that these are people. These are people, broken people maybe not making the best decisions, people who may think they're making the best decisions. Who knows? Some of them were Lana was already completely disgusted by the decisions she had made in the past. Disgusted by it. Well, just unfortunately can't make it go away, right? When I make content with them, obviously with the goal of driving views to my content, it was never to say, yo, get in this super skimpy outfit and hold a sign with your OF link on it. I could have done. Do you know how much money I would have right now?
A lot.
Do you have any idea how much money I would have right now
Millions.
if tens? If
You promoted links, yeah.
Not even just promoted links. What if I'd said
Agent them.
Yo, the first ever Lana tape back is me and Lana. And by the way, Lana, we're splitting half and half. Do you not think that was not an option? She was about to go back anyways before we started dating. It was everything was I could have gone as deep as I wanted into that space. I was the mainstream, besides Adam, the mainstream contact for that space. Could have gone as far as I wanted. Never dropped a link, never said, yo, follow this, whatever, or promoted X, Y, and Z. Never did it. Because I may have walked close to the fire and now looking back and probably like, damn, I wish I hadn't gotten that close to the fire and don't want to do it anymore. But I look at I look at them as people. Yeah. I look at them as people. Now, unfortunately, if the result of having them in my content is more young men watching that type of content, then I can't do it. Does that make sense? Yeah. And I know that now. Looking back, I know that now. But at the time, I was like, okay, I can showcase these people's personalities without driving people to their content, and it will just be like, oh wow, these are people. Yeah. I wanted to humanize, and there was a value in it for me. But now I understand the side effect of shooting that type of content. And by the way, once again, just to say it, love all those girls. Still love all those girls. Like, great people, some of the most fun I've ever had, not sexually, some of the most fun I've ever had. They're cool girls. They play their guitar. They hang out. They're fun conversations. But I don't wish that. I just don't wish that lifestyle and that industry upon them because it's a really nasty place, unfortunately.
I always looked at them as humans.
I know that.
Never once did I not look at them as humans. If a young lady decides to do OnlyFans, I look at her the same way as the man who's buying the OnlyFans.
Yep.
It's the same thing. And
yeah, how weird is that relationship?
I'm not one to look at any. Let's bring up Lana or Sky or anything. When I see God looking down on Earth, I don't see him looking at Lana and looking at Sky and then looking at George and being like. No, because like the truth is, bro, I watched porn. So like equally, we're the same in his eyes.
Right.
They made money off it. In fact, they're winning. They made a profit out of it. I lost nothing. I gained nothing from it. I just lost.
Well, somebody went on a Red Pill show recently and really reinforced that and was like, dude, the only reason Sky Bree, Lana, any of those people exist is because of the men in the audience.
You can't point your finger.
It is a which one came first, the chicken or the egg situation for a lot of guys. Because if, say, the content didn't exist, right, then the audience wouldn't exist either. So which one, you know what I'm saying?
Here's the thing. I would look at Sky and be like, listen, you're smart, you're beautiful, you're funny. You've made these decisions. You could go in this direction. The same way that I would look at this young man and be like, look, you're good, you're healthy, you're young. Just go this direction. I'm not saying that they're beneath me and I'm not looking at them like they're not people. But the same way as you, it has nothing to do with drugs and has nothing to do with porn, but the way you're handling your business, I'm like, hey, dude, I want you to do better in life.
For sure.
You should take this approach. I think because there's so many people on podcasts being like, if you do this, you're gross and you're disgusting and you're blah, blah, blah. But then guess what? The truth catches up to them. And then something in their closet gets pulled out. So this is what happens. So don't play yourself. That's why when I tell somebody like Sky or Emily or Lana, like, hey, you shouldn't do this, is because I struggle with it. Right. I would watch you ladies online, or I would watch you do this, or I watch you do that. I'm not pointing my finger saying, hey, stop this. I'm just saying our life would be so much better without this. We should do this together. You should stop shooting it and I should stop jerking it. Like, I'm never looking at it like I'm above you looking down at you. I'm just saying that I was unwise, and if I would have kept that behavior, it would have ruined this beautiful relationship that God put in front of me. So when God saved me with wisdom to get out of this, I just want to take the same medication and give it to my neighbors and be like, hey, I love you. Like, dude, I'm glad you made this money. You did all that. Take it now. Go do your own thing. Like, you don't need to do this anymore. I'm not going to judge you from your past, bro. Like, me and you are the same thing. In fact, I think you're in a better position. You have more finance now. Now you can get out of it.
That is a huge thing too. Like, it is the passage of time and the internet's inability to understand that the decisions that someone's making right now are not indicative or representative always of the person they are at their core. Like, look at the conversation we're having right now. Like, I realized that mistake a while ago. I stopped, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've maneuvered out of that content lane. I'm not doing that type of content anymore. I'll see them, I love them, but I'm just not doing it anymore because it also just made me feel cheap too. And it was like a cheat code, which I have been trying to move away from to garner more of that passionate content style and audience that you're talking about. I also noticed physically, not just morally, but physically, the effect of jerking it. Like, honestly, and I've had this conversation with people and they always try to fight me on it. And it's
No, it's
it's so funny too, because when I first came to LA, there was this kid named Andre Ducombe. Obviously, you know Andre. Oh, yeah, Andre.
Yeah.
Who at the time was living at Logan's house, right? Alongside all of us. And dude, I talked to him recently, and it's so funny because when I got here, fresh off the fucking plane from the East Coast, this dude is like, okay, so here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna eat whole grain foods, right? Not processed meat, right? And every 3 days a week, you're gonna drop your body into a freezing cold bathtub. It's called ice plunging. Then what you're going to do is you're going to sit in the sauna to actually sweat out those toxins, but you're not going to whack off ever. You're going to protect your semen. We call it semen retention. I looked at this kid, I said, or Logan, who the fuck is this kid? He wants me to eat whole unprocessed foods. He wants me to dunk my body into an ice bath. He wants me to have so much semen in my wee-wee that a vein is going to be protruding out of my forehead that's filled with nut. And what the hell is he talking? And I told him the other day, I said to him, Andre, I called him. And I said, dude, every single thing that you said, I now do. It was even more than that. He's like, okay, so every morning you're going to wake up, you're not going to look at your phone. You're going to sit and you're just going to be still. You're going to breathe. You're going to be calm. It's going to set your day in motion in the right way. You're going to set intentions. You're going to manifest positively for the day. And I'm like, no, I'm fucking not. I'm from the East Coast, bro. I'm going to wake up. I'm going to check emails. And everything he said, I've realized is right. Like, every single thing he said, maybe there's like a couple. I think let me think, dude. I've gone to some of their events. They sit around with like banjos and shit, and they like sing crazy like hippie style songs. There's probably some good in that too, but that one I haven't really like made a habit yet. But
So
like he like walks barefoot through the forest to like get grounded and like reconnect with Mother Earth. It's probably all right. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's nothing that he does that's wrong.
I don't know.
But dude,
A lot of the things that you just said seem pretty like good.
7 years ago, you would not ice plunge.
No, hell no.
And you definitely wouldn't. And you were whacking it too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
it's weird.
Wait, who was the one that was like, there was like it was like they, I don't even want to bring it up. It's gross. Like they would, it was like they would.
Say it like without actually saying it. Say it using an analogy, like an illustration of something else. Like say it using some other terms.
He would
Like
try
fruit, maybe.
Yeah, he would try to get the toothpaste out, but he wouldn't get it out of the tube.
Oh my, yeah, that one
That
I'll
was
never
weird.
get on board with.
That was weird.
No way.
That was weird.
No, so what he would do is he would squeeze the toothpaste up the tube up until it was gonna pop out the end and you could put it on your toothbrush, but just leave it.
That's torture.
No.
I'm pretty sure that's a torture move.
That's called edging, I think. That one I'm not getting on board with. I'm not doing. No, so okay. So that one actually has a tactical victory for people. I forgot what it's called. Kama Sutra, maybe? Kama Sutra is a way to like prolong the toothpaste actually going onto the toothbrush as long as humanly possible to a point that it gives you some sort of like out of body experience if both people are able to prolong
How can it be an out of body experience if he won't let it out of his
your
body?
I know. It's a good point, but this is a very long study. I believe. See, I love that we're able to talk about this. This is stuff I can't talk about on Impaulsive, where I'm only able to say I do like Prime. That's a joke, Logan. Please don't fire me. No,
It doesn't matter. He has a new podcast now.
yeah, I'm over here.
Can I pee?
Yeah, I mean, we could also end.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, well, you peed.
We could let this toothpaste out right now.
I don't know if I feel comfortable.
Yeah,
with
I
that.
don't think so either.
Well,
Let's go. Let's wrap it
I
up.
like that we kind of got to a place where, like, you know, we're both growing, and you're not doing porn anymore.
Yeah, I'm making changes, bro. I'm trying to grow up in certain places, and more than anything, I still have a lot of growing up to do. You know, and a lot of emotional work that needs to be done, a lot of trauma that needs to be addressed, a lot of pain that needs to be addressed, and a lot of that type of stuff happens through conversations like this one. You know what I'm saying? Uncomfortable conversations where you sit and you look at someone who may have done you dirty or you feel did, or the biggest ones when you look in the mirror at yourself and think about the ways that you're doing yourself dirty in life, and have those super uncomfortable conversations with yourself where you have to tell yourself, yo, the outcome of this conversation, internal conversation, is going to be painful. It's not going to be fun. It's not going to make me happy. It's at first. It's going to mean I'm going to feel more anxious. I'm going to feel more depressed if I do this. I may feel right off the bat, I may feel withdrawals from drugs that I've been on for years, and now I have to sit there and deal with flu-like symptoms and throw up and have all of these problems. But knowing that on the other side of that fire is paradise is the true story of this life. And you know, fortunately / unfortunately, a lot of us still have to walk through that fire. And I'm one of those people who really just needs to face a lot of uncomfortable truthhoods about this life. And you helped me do that today. You really did. I mean that.
I just wanted to say before we wrap up, bro, like, thank you for all the good and thank you for all the bad. And I really am sorry that I handled the stuff that I handled it. And I promise that if you give me grace, that I'll show you that I am going to be a better neighbor and a brother to you.
You've already showed me. You've already showed me. And by the way, like, I could sit here and have defense all day on this thing and that thing. But like I said, we all have a hand in how things went down. And I certainly will take account for having mismanaged, mishandled, or more importantly, not spoken up or not reached out at times when I should have. And I'm sorry about that. And it's a learning lesson for me too, to realize that it's not always going to be comfortable to do something that you don't want to do, to reach out to someone who's mad at you or is angry about how something's going, but you have to do it anyways. And that's a lesson that I have to learn. And I apologize to you. And I hope that for both of us, the outcome of this fire is that paradise. And I feel like you're already there. And hopefully I'll be seeing you in that field soon.
To new beginnings.
I love you, bro.
Love you, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks
Let's
for
do it
having
again,
me
bro,
on.
for real. And next
Whenever
time
you
will be so
want.
much more lighthearted.
Yeah, so much
and
more
we'll have
chill.
Jeff over there. He'll have fun.
Well, he's mean, dude.
Don't talk to me about being mean.
I love